Rock and Stone. How are we all doing today? Happy Reset Day. Getting close to Polska, to Easter. How's everybody doing today? Gira, Mira, Mike, Meat Shield, good to see you all.
Собственно, стандартное начало стрима.
We're gonna get right to it.
Oh.
Hi there everybody, I'm Huivan, current two-time Employee of the Month. Rock and Stone, what's good people? We've got a crazy show for you today. We've got an interview with Mike, who is one of the designers. We've got a round table where we talk about the Stubby, as well as a few other things. Yeah, and then we're going to play some games at the end. I think it's going to be a really interesting show, and I thank you all for tuning in and giving some of your lockdown time to me. Thank you very much. Masala, how's it going? Okay, we're going to just start with the headlines. The headlines this week, because there's been quite a few good things this week in Deep Rock. Well, first of all,
собственно, Хугин сейчас рассказывает о программе, о том, что сегодня в планах интервью с Майком, и будут рассматриваться различные игровые ситуации. Это частая рубрика в KNN, и сегодня конкретно будут рассматривать Стабби. То есть это второе оружие у инженера, замена дробовика.
But apparently management are looking into it as to why this might be happening, so don't worry, you know, hopefully we'll be able to see them again. Okay. Following that, yeah, South by Southwest Awards. We won both of them. Both of the things that DRG was nominated for, it won. Rightfully so,
Deep Rock Galactic получил две награды. Игра инди года и превосходный мультиплеер.
Yeah, excellence in multiplayer and indie game of the year, two excellent awards to take home. Gaming is a multiplayer endeavor these days, so winning excellence in multiplayer, that's amazing. Congratulations, guys. And yeah, indie game of the year. This is clearly like the best indie game out there, like for real. Like, I mean, obviously there are a handful of other ones. People will maybe shout me down and say another thing, but
комментирует, что Deep Rock Galactic это лучшая инди-игра, которую он встречал.
How's it going, Darrens? All right. So that's the second bit of news. We've also got the BAFTA awards coming up, the British. I've forgotten what all the things are. It's like art, film, TV, something awards. It's important apparently, but you know, as a Brit, I just guess I don't know it.
Кстати, пока я не забыл, и пока...
And then we've actually got something for you, because I think I'm getting something from DRG Historian. DRG Historian, have you got something for us today?
I am the historian coming to you raw. That's why I'm using
DRG Историк приходит.
I don't know. So recently I found this amber vein. This new cut secondary objective find. It's in an old build, it's not new, but the reason why I didn't find this any sooner.
Недавно нашел янтарь. Это вторичное задание какое-то.
Yeah, you just kind of destroy the amber and collect the fossil and get 10. So yeah, I think it's obvious this is just the earliest Ebo nut before they even thought of doing.
Это первая версия Эбоната, что интересно.
Thank you for that, DRG Historian. That was very informative, very cutting news about something that we found in the old game files. Yeah.
Пока я не забыл, я хочу попросить всех, кто на стриме, включить на задний фон стрим Хуивина. Это была его просьба взамен на то, чтобы он разрешил нам делать такой рестрим. Благодарю вас. Это познавательный стрим. Теперь.
Something I think a lot of you really like to see, and that's of course the deep dive forecasts.
Прогноз дипдайва.
Go over to Carla Resupply. I don't know if you can hear us, Carla. Hang on a second, Carla. We'll get a hold of her in a second. She's just taking her sweet time. Hello there, miners. It's me, Carla Resupply. Entirely different person, Carla Resupply. Definitely not who even.
Здравствуйте, это я.
We get that a lot.
Совсем другой человек, и вовсе не Хуивен.
Done with that segment. We're gonna now talk about the deep dives. Okay.
Сейчас будем говорить о дипдайвах.
Sit back. Open your ear holes and let me speak. Okay.
Откройте ваши уши и
First deep dive.
слушайте.
It's been in salt pits for a little while. It's called Whale Piper's Let Down. I don't know if it's me, but that's one of the first times I've seen Whale Piper in a title for a deep dive. So,
Мне кажется, что это первый раз, когда я увидел Whale Piper в названии. Refinery Black Box первым. Критическая слабость. Достаточно хаотическая миссия.
With the mine head, and you know there's lots of static defenses and stuff. Just, you know, sweep that up. It's critical weakness. You'll be okay. Okay. And yeah, just go for the weak spots. If you feel like you're wasting ammo, which I don't think you will, but you know you might do. You might feel. But yeah. But first things first, go for the black box. Just get that out of the way. That's the way to do it. Yeah. Then deal with the pipes and all the enemies accordingly.
Сначала предлагает делать Black Box и только после прокладывать трубы. Нашествие взрывников. Они будут приходить к вам каждую минуту. Но это конвой, и из-за этого могут быть большие проблемы. Поэтому он советует вам следить за ней. И не забывайте чинить мини-мулов. Каждый раз, когда вы их чините, вы получаете 50 нитро.
So yeah, there's lots of low ceilings and salt pits, so watch yourself and cave leeches, of course. Remember that every place in the ceiling could have a cave leech, just think of it that way.
Не забывайте, что каждое место на потолке может содержать в себе пиявку.
And of course, you know where the kick button is if they don't. I'm kidding, of course. Just tell them, don't kick them first. Bad etiquette. And yeah, watch out for the the black box. Tough. You know, you cleared out the area of the cave leech cluster, so the warning isn't really too bad. Yeah, and that's pretty much that. I mean, salt pits generally, though, you've got to be watching out for the rollers, the younglings. They're a real pain in the butt.
И, соответственно, в соляных пещерах требуется не запускать ситуацию с щитоспинами. Если вы помните, там спавнятся молодые щитоспины.
Codenamed Dry Caves. And yeah, I'm gonna give you a little breakdown of these stages now. So first things first, we've got 225 Morkite and 2 eggs of lethal enemies. Okay, this has 4.5, and you know you're gonna have a few swarms from one mini swarm and or at least one big swarm and one little swarm. But you're gonna get one proper swarm from here. So yeah.
Яйца, опасность 4.5. Это, в принципе, обычное состояние, но там есть смертельные враги, и на опасности 5.5 это может представлять угрозу. В комментариях пишут, почему 10 яиц? Потому что центр управления голоден.
Yeah, and yeah, I don't know what to say. Parasites are kind of annoying. Like you burn them or you freeze them. Shoot them, just stomp them, bosh them with your pickaxe. You know what to do.
Паразит раздражает. Их можно заливать огнем, замораживать, бить киркой, наступать на них, но это все равно не помогает с ними справиться. И очередное напоминание. Следить за Дореттой.
And yeah, that seems like it's the most complex stages of the three, to be honest with you. And I think rich atmosphere will kind of see a lot of thoughts through. I think this is a good week for a lot of people to try an elite deep dive on Hollow Bow if they haven't really mastered too many elite deep. An ideal week for them. Then we've got the third stage, of course, which is.
И он говорит, что это, наверное, идеальная неделя для тех, кто не очень хорошо играет в элитное погружение, для того, чтобы попрактиковаться и попытаться все-таки превзойти себя. Предлагает сначала делать блэкбокс, черный ящик, и только потом яйца, и предполагает, что к тому моменту будет мало нитро, потому что предыдущая стадия была с Дореттой. By giving them a little bash with your pickaxe if you need to. Yeah, you've got a driller if the vines are getting too annoying. Я разобрался. Вторую личность Хуиона зовут Карла Resupply. Это забавно.
Yeah, but that pretty much concludes this week's Elite Deep Dive and Deep Dive forecast. I've been Carla Resupply. Thank you very much for tuning in to KNN. We will see you sometime, another time. I don't know. I'm not my...
Спасибо за внимание.
Yeah, thanks for that, Carla. Alright. Awesome. Got my goggles. Can't see without the goggles. Anyway. Cool, wasn't that great? Let's give it up for Carla Resupply. Good job, Carla. Beautiful as ever. I haven't been able to see her since the pandemic, and it's, you know, it's tough. We're doing an LDR at the minute. Yeah, anyway. Let's get into it. We're all here for Crackle's Corner. This is the bit where we kind of highlight all the fancy stuff that the community's been getting up to in the week, all the interesting stuff they've been doing. Yeah.
Сейчас идут отметки Кракула.
The art of the week, and that is by Deep Diggy, aka Diggy Draws, aka Mithril Mining.
Смотрит все самое интересное, что происходило в комьюнити. Это арт-неделя от Deep Diggy. Или Diggy Draws, или Mithril Mining.
This is, I believe, an emote for Access from us. Shouts to him as well. This is a cool little thing that has been thrown together. Very cool. We like it. We like it.
Нам нравится.
Oh yeah. Okay. And then we're gonna go ahead and show the clip of the week.
Видео недели.
Which is You Step In.
От Юстепина. Его игра крашнулась в самом худшем месте.
Okay, yeah, that was You Step In. Obviously, caught in a moment. Good for him. Anyway, that was the clip of the week. Thank you, You Step In, for. I mean, I know. You Step In does a lot of content, and that is like not the kind of content you would expect to make clip of the week, but there we go. Alright, next thing on the list is the video of the week, which goes to Recently Deceased. Yeah.
От Gaming for the Recently Deceased.
We really like this. It was just kind of an in-depth look at how the armor upgrades work. Armor /shield/health Take a look. You'll learn a lot.
Смотрит улучшения для брони, сравнивает их и, судя по словам, рассказывают какие-то механики интересные, связанные с ними. Мем недели.
And yeah, we've got one here by Owl, which is, and I have a story about this.
Есть история у него.
I did the last week's Elite Deep Dive Magma Core with a group of randoms.
Делал ЕДД с рандомами.
Driller, who was the host, insisted on pre-drilling all of
И Бурила, кто был хостом, настоял на том, чтобы пробурить сначала.
Not just like the first cave, all the way to the hot stone. And
прямо до
added like an extra 30 minutes on. I was like the whole way through, but like at the same time I didn't want to be rude. It was like the most British thing I've ever done, like where I just refused.
Я был настроен скептически, но решил не комментировать.
Yeah, it was a good experience though. I like those people, they were nice. But yeah, that was painful. That was long. Anyway, thank you very much.
Мне не понравились, но мне было больно.
Exactly, will be bad for Nitro.
Смотреть.
Я
только не бурится.
I completely get Darren's. Anyway, Dictatorship came up with this one. Very cool. We all love Scale Brigades. Scale Brigade has been a massive hit among the community. Like that has to be said. One of the coolest cosmetics added to the game. Fourth relic is still cool.
Последнее косметическое дополнение имеет успех среди комьюнити. Оно ему очень нравится.
Scale Brigade.
Драконья бригада. Хотя, если не ошибаюсь, они недавно изменили значок. Думаю, здесь не нужно пояснять.
Almost borderline meme. It's like on the border of meme and art, because like the DRG Gojo memes are so like strongly overlapped.
Это что-то среднее между рисунком и мемом. И это определенно мем недели.
That's what I'd argue. Okay. Next thing we have. Well, it's the last thing. Wow, I've blown through all the content pretty quick. I think it's just because I want to go and chat with Mike.
Достаточно быстро просмотрел весь контент. Опа, моды недели.
Is one particular one, and that is one by Minomas. There wasn't really like a good accompanying graphic or anything that I could put up, but basically it expands the radius at which you can grab the fuel canister, similar to how someone else did it.
Мод недели — это мод, который увеличивает радиус, которым можно взять канистру.
Fuel canister is vastly different. Like they're like a much smaller radius. So it's been boosted, so it's like a normal item, so to speak. Because I think most of the stuff we tend to pick up is big, chunky, and like we're just so used to grabbing stuff like from a certain distance. Anyway, that pretty much wraps up the Crackles Corner for this week. Thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in. We're gonna now go live to the equipment terminal, where I'm told people are.
Терминал.
I'm not sure. Okay, here we go. Here he is. Okay. Hello there.
В общем, в этой рубрике рассказываются ситуации, и люди пытаются выйти из них. Если честно, сам не особо уверен в концепте. Но мы сейчас все увидим.
So yeah, I'm going to go around the room real quick and introduce everyone here. First off,
хочу представить всех, кто здесь находится.
First off, we have Mike from Ghost Ship Games, who is one of
Первый здесь Майк из Ghost Ship Games. Он гейм-дизайнер. Он стоит, в принципе, за большинством вещей, которые находятся в игре. Спасибо за то, что пришел.
And then next up we've got Gray. He is the author of the Big Balance Patch and a few other QOL.
Дальше у нас Грей. Он автор Big Balance Patch.
With this next balance pass, he'll be out of a job.
Надеюсь, со следующим балансирующим патчем ты больше не будешь делать мод на баланс.
So thank you very much, Gray, for coming here today and being our Russian liaison, because I also believe that we are being live streamed or restreamed and translated in Russian. That's awesome. Спасибо, and thank you very much for being here today, Gray.
Нас ретранслируют в русском комьюнити. Да-да, это я.
Who is our DRG guru? I think he's been tagged that a few times.
Дальше Митшилд. Это парень, который разбирается в математике. Гуру DRG. Хорошо разбирается в соло-билдах и, в принципе, во всех формах билдов. И он тот человек, который сделал ДПС-калькулятор.
But welcome, Meat Shield, and thank you very much for coming today.
Yeah, thanks for having me back. You got it backwards again. I made the DPS calculator. I consult on Carl.gg.
Yes, you made the DPS calculator. Consult on Carl.gg. That's it. Sorry. Carl.gg, which we use extensively. Anyway, we'll now move on to the topics of the week. The first one is a weapon. Oh, hang on. I need to turn down the music a bit. I apologize. I think I've been blaring it. Always. There we go.
Немного поменьше музыку.
Good that we did that first then. Okay, the first thing is the weapon of the week, which is the stubby. This is the second weapon you unlock.
Оружие недели это стаби, электро-ПП у инженера.
And yeah, we're gonna be exploring some of the builds that people use. And
мы посмотрим на билды, которые люди используют. Скажи, почему ты используешь подобный билд?
There's not really much to talk about it. This is a classic electric build for the stubby.
Он говорит, что это классический электробилд для стаби.
EM Refire booster simply because it's the best.
EM Refire, потому что он лучший.
Don't have to switch it off. Like you get it for any build and you're fine. As for everything else, it's the boost electrocution chance, boost your rate of fire because stubby doesn't do that much damage with single shots, so you have to rely on spamming it. Increase your ammo on tier 3 simply because it's an electrocution build. I don't rely on going.
Во втором тире идет скорострельность, потому что у стаби урон за каждый выстрел не особо большой, поэтому приходится полагаться на спам. В третьем тире патроны, потому что здесь собирается электробилд. И все остальное, соответственно, электробилду.
AOECC electric arc procs in a 2.75 meters and reduces enemy movement speed by 80%, and it does like 36 damage with this effect, and well, it just
в радиусе 0.74 метра происходит замедление и наносится 36 урона. Это, судя по всему, он описывает эффект какого-то из улучшений. Скорее всего, это тир 5.
Fair enough. Okay, we're gonna move on and we're gonna talk about the gun in general. But I'll go next to Meat Shield's build. Do you want to talk to us about the stubby
build Meat Shielda
and also your build?
Sure. Like Greyhound has already pointed out, the stubby SMG has really good crowd control. The electrocution dot that has a 20% chance to proc baseline up to 50% with T1B. It's an 80% slow for 3 seconds, does 12 DPS for a total of 36 damage across the 3 seconds. You can refresh its duration really easily, so it's really good for slowing down enemies like Praetorians, Bulk Detonators, Crassus Detonators. Betsy's are also really good to fight with the SMG because of its slow. So it's a really nice utility weapon in comparison to the Warthog shotgun's high damage.
Мишел говорит, что стаби это больше оружие удобства, чем урона.
My build that I go for is mainly about trying to up the sustain DPS, so not the burst DPS given by EM Refire
Мой
Booster,
билд сделан для
but I
того,
get the
чтобы
mag size of
увеличить
tier 5,
продолжительность
the
DPS.
reload speed from
Это sustain
well-oiled
DPS,
machine,
это DPS,
and
который
then because of the recoil
считается с
dampener, I'm
учетом
able to just
перезарядки.
basically hold down mouse 1 and sustain DPS things down. I find that 1 damage and 1 ammo mod is all that's really necessary. It's pretty tight on ammo, so you need to get a lot of resupplies, but that's an engineer problem in general. But yeah, so it's just a pretty generic
Проблема с патронами,
sustained DPS
но это, в
build.
принципе, проблема инженера. Все, что здесь критично, это урон в первом тире и патроны в третьем тире. Это билд стримера.
But I've got super slim rounds. Again, it's just like there's the base electrocution stuff there that just kind of slows everything down. It's ideal for slowing down big targets that are moving towards you, like bolts or dread types or whatever. Although I don't think it does that too well. But the point is that it's good for slowing things down and crowd controlling, like the others have said.
Ховен тоже говорит о том, что стаби интересен тем, что позволяет заиметь много крауд-контроля и собирает ее через электризацию.
Simple as that, you know, it's just something that the engineer you kind of feel locked into close quarters or explosive / breach cutter with the other 3 weapons, whereas here you suddenly feel like you have control over range targets and stuff, which is
с этим оверклоком ты наконец-таки ощущаешь себя способным на дальний бой. Если не брать в расчет, конечно, вторичное оружие.
Same as all the others. Huge disclaimer, like, you know, everyone can play their own one and feel, you know, get what you want from it. But these are sort of three perspectives that we have. We would have had a 4th perspective, but Mike pointed out that he plays around with the build so often that he does not have a set one, which is great.
Майк так часто меняет билды, что у него нет любимого.
And also very funny because every time we've had a dev or a dev on so far, or someone from GSG, they've always given us a joke response. So this feels like the least joke response so far. We had Fatboy PGL for the breach cutter build, and we have the special powder. And we had special powder a boomstick for Zhukovs. So yeah, what's your perspective on this weapon, Mike?
So, yeah.
Понятно.
The original kind of concept of this gun was to try to play around a little more with crowd control, and that is kind of the build that Greyhound was talking about.
В оригинале идея стаби лежит оружие, которым хотелось, которым требовалось немного больше крауд-контроля.
The idea was that like they should fit sort of into the role the existing weapons at that point did, but do it a little bit differently. Yeah, so that's where kind of like the shotgun and SMG, think of a little bit like a sequential shotgun in kind of its base thing of lower accuracy, things like that.
Немного схоже с дробовиком своей неточностью.
The whole electrical thing just kind of came in as a way to make it a little less boring than just bullets, but still keeping it.
Электричество пришло сюда как способ сделать стаби немного менее скучным.
Did the second, I guess we're now delving into questions generally about weapons, but do the second string of weapons usually, do you go, oh, what's very different to that, and just kind of go in that direction, kind of? So, for example,
ish, kind of, sort of, sometimes not.
Okay.
But I mean, when the decision was made to, like at some point, for anybody who's been playing DRG for a very long time, you may know that we had very few kind of mods. It was a more linear progression system on there. And then when we shifted over, like there was a choice between, do we want to expand that or do we want to have a lot more weapons? And those two were kind of mutually exclusive. We could not make a lot of weapons if each weapon becomes a very kind of deep system. and we decided to go for this thing with each weapon having a lot of variety within it. But that means we're not going to have a lot of weapons. So now when new weapons come in, also with the new weapons coming for update 35, the idea is again something so that, of course, they may overlap depending on how you build them, but trying to give variety to the player and to that class. Yeah.
Раньше дерево не обладало каким-то интересным развитием, но ГСГ стало перед вопросом, хотят ли они иметь много оружия или же немного оружия, но с большой вариативностью билдов. В итоге они остановились на втором варианте, и хотя новое оружие придут в 35-м обновлении, я напоминаю, что они действительно будут 35-м или 4-м, такое промежуточное. Хотя некоторые билды и будут перекрывать функции уже существующих оружий, но они постараются сделать так, чтобы подобных случаев не было.
Very happily do still enjoy this game despite having worked on it for this
amazing,
long.
Yeah.
Which I have. I mean, other games that I've worked on. This is not always the case. You very often get very tired of playing the same thing over and over.
Большую часть времени Майк проводил в игре, тестируя, не играя.
In my head, very different from my approach to other games that I play for fun as just a player, right? So. Depending pretty much on where I'm playing the build, I have kind of already preset stuff going on. So if I'm playing locally in our office, then I have like an engineer who's actually running a stubby. Then on the Steam testing build, I have one that's running with the Warthog. It's not for any specific reason because most of the time I'm not overly concentrating on what the builds are. Also, occasionally I just like randomly select different mods and just.
Большую часть времени он просто рандомно выбирает какие-то моды.
I'm not playing at the edge in that sense. I'm not.
И он не играет на пределе возможностей. То есть не делает ЕДД, на пятных хаздах особо не ходит. И не спидранит.
But we will just move on to the next topic now. Thank you for that. Right, where are we? Okay, the weapon is going, so the builds. Okay, so this is probably the most infamous creature in the game. So much so, I think it's probably the most. I'll give you a clue as to what it is. It's probably the most merchandised part of the game, and that is of course the loot bug. So usually we
Самый известный жук в игре. Самый распространенный.
We want to try something different.
Ну.
So the loot bug. Do you want to explain it, Mike? Do you want to, where did it come from? What was?
Расскажи нам, Майк, откуда он пришел?
Okay, so the loot. I take no responsibility for the loot bug.
Oh wow, okay. You're distancing yourself from the loot bug.
I'm not distancing. I love the loot bugs,
okay,
and
good.
I think it was a great idea, but
okay.
That did come from Mikkel, who's the game director.
Это идея Микела, гейм-директора.
So I think it was just more as some kind of a nice. I mean, I think at some point he mentioned like popping a zit, kind of like as an example.
Wow, interesting.
But it was something to get some resources, so it has a gameplay benefit to the for the player, and then potentially it can also feel satisfying to do. And then the whole thing of making it a cute little thing was to kind of also potentially trigger other players and have them not do that because they don't feel like it, and that's also okay.
Лутбаг сделан так, как это было задумано изначально. То есть это что-то, что можно лопнуть, но что-то достаточно мило, чтобы другие игроки могли быть против.
I mean, I think the most interesting thing about them is the fact that they will hoover up minerals.
Самое интересное в них считают хуевин, что они
yeah, that's a new thing. Yeah, that's a new thing, and I'm pretty sure that was Johan who actually did that.
Ah, okay. I should buy him a beer. That was a really cool little.
I think that was Johan.
Yeah, that was a cool little quirk of the loot bug.
Это достаточно новая фича, говорит дреднологист. То есть Майк.
I think I'm not sure exactly who made that model. Probably Robert. They have been around for a very long time, so it was probably.
Не знаю, кто сделал модель. Возможно, Роберт.
And, like, he made it. We looked at it. Looks cool. Done.
Мы посмотрели на нее. Будет прикольно. Значит, будет таким.
Right. Meat Shield. You kill loot bugs? Do you pet them? What's the deal?
Мишел, ты убиваешь лутбагов или гладишь?
Personally, I ignore loot bugs.
Oh.
They exist. I walk by them. I don't kill them.
Wow.
I'll pet them if they're directly in my path, but generally I ignore them.
Wow. Cold shoulder.
По большей части их игнорирую,
As a
но
primarily
если они
solo
у меня,
player, I take the time to
если они
gather
прямо
all the
рядом,
nitra and all
не
the gold
встречаются,
beans, so
то
I'm
я их
never in
глажу.
need for nitra or gold from the loot bugs.
Okay.
Also, I find their design very interesting. They are not an enemy. They turn your teammates into your enemy. Because if you like to kill loot bugs and your teammate doesn't, or vice versa, all of a sudden you have a strong difference of opinion expressed with weapons.
Интересно замечание, что лутбаги это не просто игровые враги, это те существа, которые делают твоих соратников твоими врагами.
I mean, do you need to know it? It's just slaughter them all.
Monster.
Yeah, I was kind of expecting that.
Morals in this game.
Грейхаунд сказал, что лутбагов слишком
Yeah, no,
много.
right, exactly. We're an interplanetary mining corporation.
Его позвали монстром.
Right. Yeah. No, I mean, I don't personally. I will pet them if they're around, but if they're in my way, they will get a pickaxe. That's just how I kind of deal with it. But if they're far away, I'll just be like.
Я их глажу, когда есть возможность, но если им не мешает, то я их убиваю. Говорит хуевин.
So, food for thought. They could just turn into them. You heard it here first. Okay. Yeah, let's move on to the last little section we've got here.
Before we do,
Oh yeah.
I just want to mention, I got the DRG loot bug plushie in the mail yesterday.
Nice.
Lucky.
Did you order
Получил
in early
плюшевую
2020?
игрушку лутбага вчера.
I ordered
Мишил.
it, well, not early 2020. I ordered New Year's Eve 2020.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not too far then. Yeah.
Yeah, so I just thought it was really funny. I got it in the mail, and then later that night you said, we're going to talk about loot bugs.
Nice.
I'm so jealous. I'm still waiting for mine.
Yeah, no, I was about to say, like, we've been feeling it in the EU. If you've ordered a loot bug, it's like a wait list for, like, I don't know, a festival or something. It's insane. Anyway. Alright, the loot bug. Goodbye, loot bug. It's been real. Okay, we're going to talk about perks now. Specifically,
Перки.
hover boots and heightened sensors. So these are two, I would describe as get out of jail free card perks. They're both active perks. One of them has
Оба они активны, и они оба предлагают тебе возможность спастись от смертельной ситуации.
If you press C when you're mid-air, you will stop all your momentum, and your feet will catch on fire, and anything below it will catch on fire. That's a little known thing about hover boots that I actually really love and love kind of accidentally doing.
Интересная заметка о ховербутсах, что они поджигают под собой. Под собой.
And then, yeah, anyway, hover boots, get out of jail free card. You're falling down a hole, you hit it, boom, you're safe. Or, well, depends how far down the hole you did it. It can get a bit messy. You end up doing like a lot of Wile E. Coyote things where you're like kind of stuck midair and then you're looking down and then you just, it's great. Okay, and then we've got heightened sensors, and as I said before, it's got a passive ability, so it will warn you about grabbing enemies before they grab you, and you've got a few charges to kill whatever has grabbed you as the active part of this perk. They are both, they're both highly used. I think hover boots is probably used a little bit less because people.
Это достаточно часто используемые перки, но мне кажется, что ховербот немного чаще используется. В целом, из-за того, что у них гораздо больше полезности.
Whereas heightened sensors is very like situational. But anyway, I'm gonna cut off my preamble because it's going on for far too long. And I'll ask. I guess I'll ask Mike. because yeah, Mike, did you have any hand in these perks? Do you have any hand in the design of the perks system?
Майк, что скажешь о дизайне?
So, what's your question?
No, my question is, what do you feel about these two perks? How do they fit in?
Oh, okay. Well, the hover boots perk actually came from the jump boots.
Ah, yes.
Hoverboots появились после прыжковых ботинок. Это старый перк, если кто не знает, на стриме.
They were too fun.
Yeah,
Too fun.
yeah.
Это было слишком интересно, чтобы...
Optional,
Yeah,
in a way.
yeah.
That was kind of the thing.
I know every gunner would have run it, ever. Full stop.
Прыжковые ботинки были настолько
and we realized it a little too late,
классными,
since
что
it was
их
kind of,
брали
out.
буквально
The cat
все.
was out of the bag. When we kind of really realized it ourselves. But it was that when we would play and then we would take it off, it sucked. So we wanted it back.
И когда их снимали, сразу становилось гораздо хуже. И мы хотели оставить эту мобильность в игре.
Like having experienced it, was like, oh man, this is so liberating, and yeah, it had to go. We tried to move as much of the functionality as possible into hover boots, in the sense of like being able to use it to save yourself from falling as a
И мы пытались перенести большую часть функционала, как вот только возможно, в Hoverboot.
Awesome addition.
Yes, glad you like it.
Yeah.
The heightened senses. So of course, the first version of the perk system, heightened senses was just just the warning. That was it, and it was kind of made for because we know some players really hate cave leeches. Also, originally it was only cave leeches, I think, that were triggering it. If I remember correctly.
Изначально, если он правильно помнит, только пещерные пиявки активировали последний перк. И раньше это было только предупреждение.
As many players as possible, and that's kind of where the active part came in, where you can then use it to actually get out of a cave leech or not be out of any other enemy that grabs you. With of course solo players kind of being the primary target first and foremost, because you can save yourself from a game over that way, a failed mission. But I don't know. That's kind of it. I mean, I know people also were talking about the whole loot bug thing. The initial idea for the perk system was kind of to have all sorts of stuff in it, and some of it relevant to gameplay, and some of it just whatever. That was kind of like the first.
Изначально система перков была такой интересная. Предполагаю, что часть перков будет вмешиваться в геймплей, а часть перков будет, ну, такими, на границе. Практически не имеет значения.
Semi-helpful / semi-memey as you can get, so it's quite a good balance. You can actually kind of bring it, and it's semi-helpful. You just don't.
It's not completely worthless necessarily.
Right.
I mean,
right.
If you're a monster, right?
Yeah. No, I guess so. Yeah. No. True. Okay. So, Meat Shield. Let's start with you. What do you think about these two perks? What are your takes on them?
Мнение второго. Midfield.
Not a lot. I don't generally equip either of these. I see the use of hover boots to help save yourself from fall damage if you're a driller not looking at terrain scanner and fall through the floor, or a gunner who gets knocked off of a zip line, or a scout who's grappling up to a mineral vein without a platform waiting for you. You can use it to save yourself from some potentially lethal fall damage. On the other hand, with heightened senses, it's great for letting you know that a cave leech, Nectara grabber, or an
Мишел считает, что Hoverboot полезно для скаутов, которые не ждут платформа, для ганнеров, которые падают с зиплайнов, или для бры, которые не смотрят под ноги.
Is because heightened senses returns agency to the player, like when they get grabbed or basically they're stuck. They can't do anything to help themselves, right?
Ему кажется, что обостренное чувство
more aware you are as a player, or the more you're playing with your teammates,
Обостренные
the less
чувства
you need the perk.
немного чаще
And
берутся
so
за
I
счет
think that's
того,
why
что они
heightened senses will
возвращают
always have a
тебе
slightly bigger
мобильность.
pick rate than hover boots. But that's just my opinion. I generally don't run either of these perks personally.
Okay, fair enough.
Но это теоретическое
And,
мнение,
Graham, what do you
потому
think
что
about
Midfield
this?
не берет ни один из этих перков.
That's a difficult topic to speak my mind on. So to put it bluntly, I remember the old heightened senses, and I really hated it because there was this very specific bug. When one person in your team ran that perk and it triggered for him, it could occasionally transfer on your teammates,
Oh, I
and
remember
I
that
was
one.
on the receiving end of this.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Oh
a lot.
boy, that was fun.
Yeah, that was quite fun. I remember like,
Раньше
everyone was
с
like,
прошлой
"Ah,
итерацией перков
That was
была
good.
проблема с
Anyway.
обостренными чувствами, когда
What was,
если он активировался у одного
So, what
игрока,
I was on about.
эффект от него мог
What I
активироваться сразу у
dislike
всех.
about heightened senses is that it feels like it's a passive perk that has had an active strapped on, which isn't really good because it only has 2 charges.
Мне кажется,
Two
что
shows could be very helpful.
обостренное чувство это
They
не
can
особо
be
хороший
on
перк,
solo
потому
missions.
что он ощущается как будто
If your
к
teammates aren't helping you, though,
пассивке присобачили
this
what
is
you're
where
saying- so what you're
два
saying is-
активных
this is where it
заряда.
comes from.
Не
Yeah,
ощущается
so
как
you're
единое
saying-
целое.
Don't take heightened senses, get better teammates. That's what you're saying.
Не берите
in a way,
обостренные
yes.
чувства. Найдите лучше
Let's play
хороших
Scout, I don't know.
игроков.
As for hoverboots, this has saved me a few too many times for me to not run it on all of my loadouts. So
Я так
I
много
basically have it on for
имел
every
проблем,
loadout by default.
что я
I
понял,
don't even think.
в конечном итоге я пришел к тому, что
It's too good of a perk. It still could use better
Hoverboots
cooldowns,
это
but
лучшее,
the
что у
effect
меня
of,
есть, и я
actually
играю
not
на нем
having
на
the
всех
button
своих.
oh, do I need to put a
персонажах.
platform onto myself? Do I need to grab a zipline? Do I need to use my grappling hook? So I just press my hoverboots and I'm done with the issue. Also easy escapes from enemies seeking to surround me if I can jump downhill.
Разрешает множество дилемм,
Yeah,
ускоряет
no, I was saying,
прогресс,
I think Hoverboots
позволяет
kind of
уйти от
misunderstood
некоторых
as this
мобесов.
saving you from a full thing only. I think it's a remarkable tool that if you use it in a certain way, you can basically just, yeah. I mean, you've got so many traversal tools at your disposal, and Hoverboots cools down relatively quickly. I would disagree with you there, Greg, because I think Hoverboots does have a good cooldown time, because of how overpowered it can be if you use it correctly. So you can basically create the terrain so you have like an area to always run around and kite. And if you have Hoverboots,
Перезарядка
you have a
оправдана
ledge
за
you
счет
can jump
того,
off of.
как можно
And
использовать
a
эти
platform to
ховербуты.
land on. You can use that to your advantage so often, and use it to kite so many enemies. I don't know. I mean, that's kind of how I've ended up using it. And it's a must-have perk for me, and I hope that, funnily enough, I hope that the community at large doesn't discover how powerful it is, so that they don't start using it. Because anyway, that's just my personal take on it. But does anyone have any things to throw in about these two particular perks before we move on to our final segment? I'm gonna take that as a no. Okay, cool. Alrighty, we're gonna move on now
Хубер
to
об этом
the
говорилось.
interview part. I'm just gonna BRB, just setting stuff up. Give me a moment.
Готовится к последней части.
Alrighty. There we go. I'm gonna send an invite to Wall. Sent it by Discord. Easier that way. Great, you know that you can just join on me through Steam. In fact, all of you can. I think Shield you're the only one I may not have. Send you an invite too. Cool. Alrighty. I'll bring on my questions. We're gonna play a regular deep dive with my viewer spawns on. They can be I I mean, the chat will be fine. They'll be nice to us, I'm sure. Alright, I'm gonna...
I guess I'll play engineer with random mods.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, you do what you want to play, and we'll fall in.
Дага решил в очередной раз поиграть инженером с рандомными модами.
Yeah. No mercy. All right. Oh, nice. Rocket Mountain. Fantastic. Alrighty. We'll just have this, yeah, DRG Historian's offering to send you a build of his mic. You can do with that information what you will. Oh, nice looking engineer.
Интересный инженер.
Alright. Have you seen the Deep Rock Fashion subreddit, by the way?
I have. I love it.
Good, good.
I mean, it's... I don't know, man. So many things on the bucket list have been hit with this game. On the, like, professional bucket list, if you will.
Oh, I can
Pretty
understand.
amazing.
I can understand.
Pretty amazing.
Alright. I think, oh, hang on, I need to turn on channel points. Almost forgot that. And what bus are we going to play with? I think that's not too bad for Doretta. Betsy should be fine, although, yeah. Alright.
Ух ты, терминал.
I'll let you complete your build before I start lobbing questions at you.
Oh, I'm trying to make it as random as possible.
Oh, it is completely randomized. Interesting.
I like it. I'm running proximity trigger on the PGL. It's gonna be good.
Oh, okay. This should be interesting. I'm sure it'll be fine.
Alright.
Just important to press V. Okay. Do we have your beer?
Oh,
We got beer over here.
oh my. Oh, sweet. Rocky Mountain.
Quick reminder to praise the cube. Your one isn't a cube, but my one is, and I'm slapping it.
Oh yeah. That when we saw that, I think it was Jakob who posted it on our internal.
Oh wow, he did?
Thing. Yeah. We watch what you guys do.
You see
It's
everything.
amazing. We love it.
Yeah, no.
I mean,
Мы
it's
следим
more
за
than,
тем, что
like,
вы
we see everything.
делаете.
I mean, it's
И мы все видим.
it's really great to see people like our game so much and to see people be interested in making things like mod. I mean, the whole modding thing, it's like
Yeah, it's
so cool.
crazy.
So
yeah.
fucking cool.
I'm glad you have that opinion. I'm glad you have that opinion. A lot of people are looking forward to mod support, and yeah.
Yeah, me
Love
too.
this.
Also because it allows things to happen in the game that we could never do ourselves. Like it allows. I mean, of course, for the completely like more crazy or extreme things, but also just like, I mean, again, like this option for having different balance tweaks, right? I mean, having weapons that are completely tweaked for, I don't know, high-level play, what is actually balanced.
Мне нравится идея, что моды позволяют делать вещи, которые GSG не могут делать сами. Например, альтернативный баланс оружия для специальных. Для ветеранов.
I'm considering besides actual balance when doing this stuff, right? I mean, I think last time I checked, like, I mean, Hazard 2 is still by far the most played Hazard level, right?
Is it?
Oh,
Второй Hazard — это на текущий момент самый играбельный уровень. В него играет больше всего людей.
I mean, and that's the nature of the game.
Is that people consistently playing Haz 2? Or is that people who are starting the game?
Both, but of course it's also people starting the game.
Right.
They skew those statistics a lot.
Yeah.
But it is also... hello.
Oh yeah, we've got a good bit swarming.
This conversation's getting...
Yeah, sorry.
Oh,
It'll be okay. we got a team of professionals then. I think.
You sure?
No. No.
It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine.
Yeah. So.
See, now I'm dead, so now I can talk.
Yeah, exactly. It's ideal. It's ideal. I guess I should boot off with the first question.
Sure.
Which is, can you talk us through how you started coming to work for GSG and
Можете рассказать, как вы начали работать на ГСГ?
I am not one of the core members, but I have worked with them previously.
Я не один из первых
About
крю ГСГ, но до этого я с ним работал.
maybe 3/4 of a year after they started work on it.
Я пришел, возможно, 3-4 года позже, чем они начали работать над Deeper Galactic. Я никогда не работал с шутерами, и никогда не работал с кооп-шутерами.
I have a small team, 2 other friends, where we play co-op games. That's our thing.
Awesome.
They are also my very good friends. That's how we spend our time.
Awesome.
So this is a dream come true, working on a co-op game.
Yeah, awesome. And so they were working with you before, you said.
Yes, we, with many of them, pretty much all of the founders except one previous coworkers of mine.
Okay. Wait, who was the one who wasn't?
Søren, the CEO.
Oh, Søren, yeah. Gotcha. Oh, someone woke up that same.
Nice. Good morning.
Я так понял, что он работал практически со всеми до этого. Практически со всеми из штата ГСГ. Имеется в виду.
Okay, so have you worked on anything else besides Deep Rock before Deep Rock? I imagine you had then.
I have. Yeah. Before that, it has been a lot of platformers, like puzzle platformers.
До этого я работал на платформерами. И первая игра, которую он сделал, первая игра, что он сделал, был Max and the Magic Marker. Длительное время назад.
That was on the Xbox primarily. That was when Press Play, the previous company I worked at.
Press Play.
Was purchased by Microsoft. Really? Thanks, Betsy.
So, how did you meet the founders then of DRG? What were they?
Yeah, so all of them we worked at Press Play together.
Oh wow, okay, I see. Interesting.
Они вместе работали?
And who so the three founders, is it three?
Если честно, я не совсем понимаю суть разговора.
Sorry. Oh wow, okay, completely off with that. To be fair, I should know that because of the portraits and all that.
Тогда их было всего 6.
Yeah, it's okay. Anyway,
details.
Of course. So on Press Play, that was the only thing you did was the Wii game, right?
Wii game and the Xbox game, Max and the Magic Marker.
Okay. It was cross-platform, or not cross-platform.
Max and the Magic Marker была игра на Xbox.
The Xbox One. And then I did some work, level design work on a game called Kalimba, which was, I think, a pretty big financial failure. It was pretty crazy. Like nobody bought it.
Oh wow.
Работал над Kalimba.
I think it's pretty cheap right now.
Everyone buy it.
I think it's still on sale.
Let's do it.
Это была катастрофическая неудача.
I think it's actually a really good game if you like platformers, like puzzly platformers, but it's like an action puzzle platformer, tickle your brain kind of way.
Okay.
Action puzzle platformer.
There's a lot of speculation.
Pretty sure it still exists on Steam. I don't think it was taken down. I don't know. But,
думаю, что она до сих пор на Steam.
I think there's a lot of speculation that if you guys ever did another game, it would be a puzzle co-op game.
Если бы вы когда-нибудь делали...
There is speculation.
Okay.
Is that I'm not?
We have no idea what the next thing is.
Yeah.
Of course, there's gonna be a next project. We don't know when. We don't know what it is. DRG right now is I mean,
Ну, есть какие-то слухи, что следующей игрой от ГСГ будет какой-то пазл. Однако, даже сами ГСГ еще не в курсе, что они хотят делать. И когда это будет.
Yeah, it is completely down to finances. As I mean, it like I think if suddenly like players stop coming, right? So the game is kind of runs out of steam on Steam. Then it's not necessarily that we would stop completely, but we would have to scale down. We would need to then start focusing very much on the next source of revenue to make sure everyone can get paid in a couple of years' time. Games take a long time to make.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. I really should resupply. I think. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, go for it.
I'm just running around in circles.
Отмечают, что игры делаются очень долгий срок, поэтому нужно быть очень осторожным с финансами. И...
I don't have to think too much of that. Oh hey guys.
So okay, you play a lot of co-op games with your friends. And any at the minute that you care to share? Any good ones?
We actually restarted playing Payday 2.
Oh, Payday 2. Okay.
Yeah. So
начали играть в Payday 2.
We loved Payday 1 to bits way back when.
Ну, до этого играли в Payday 1.
Playing it. Though kind of, I mean, not we didn't play it for a very long time. We pretty much set it on hard and then tried to complete each mission. And some of them took a while to get through, and that was a blast. We really enjoyed it. Then when 2 came out, we played it a little bit, but then we stopped, and I don't even remember why. I mean, again, it's a game.
Мы играли, потом почему-то перестали.
And then like other games were happening, stuff like that. And then just recently, I saw that Payday is still going strong, and
недавно увидел, что Payday все еще играется. И решил снова посмотреть.
What are your Hall of Fame games? What are the games that kind of define you as a player? And I guess
какие игры определяют тебя как игрока?
You must program a bit, right?
I program a little bit, mostly to like prototype ideas and things like that, or like I can do like making a new enemy if its behavior is not incredibly complex and like then I can do it.
Я не сильно кодирую. Иногда, возможно, каких-нибудь простеньких монстров делаю.
You can't blame me for the bugs, okay?
I never will.
Не обвиняйте меня в лутбагах.
Yes, blame your I'm sure it's his fault. Whatever it is.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, interesting. So I guess I should ask, what particular design stuff are you responsible for in the game? What can you point to and be like, yo, that's all.
На что ты отвечаешь в игре?
Anytime a weapon gets nerfed, buffed, that's me.
Каждый раз, когда оружие получает нерфы или бафы, за этим стою я.
No, I'm half kidding.
Yeah, right.
No.
Правда, по большей части это нерфа.
Tell us what you're gonna do with this weapon. The one I've got right next to you.
Which one? That one. Oh, the EP.
Скажи нам, что ты будешь делать с TCF.
I actually don't know yet. So right now I am actually working on the tweaks for update 34.
Он сказал, что не знает.
And I haven't gotten to the EPC yet.
И он еще не смотрел EPC. И сейчас он размышляет о БРТ.
I've gotten an immense amount of feedback from some very dedicated players. One of them is currently here with us.
That makes sense.
Он получает фидбэк самых преданных игроков. Один прямо сейчас с ними.
Is it Gray or Meat you were talking about?
I mean, Meat sent me like a 30-something page thesis.
Yeah, how many? Yeah, right. I was expecting nothing less, to be honest with you.
But yes, I mean, sorry.
I made that back in October.
Yeah. Well, now I'm finally reading it.
Richard говорит, что он сделал документ на 30 страниц по поводу баланса еще в октябре. И сейчас, и только сейчас, ну, есть, его читает.
A bunch of the people that I've initially been like having one-to-one talks with, which has been going for a long time, where people have been giving me feedback and I've been shooting ideas back and forth with members of the community. Because it's, I mean,
баланса.
It's a wealth of knowledge.
Yeah.
There's no way I can have myself an overview of this stuff the way.
It's tough. You guys are making the product.
Он находит то место. Очень информативно.
Also on a is it fun basis, but still, I mean, there are plenty of players that know the weapons, for example, like better than I can, right? I mean, who have spent more time.
Yeah, no, I mean that's kind of what I'm
literally thinking about these things than I have. So
некоторые игроки банально играли больше,
the thing is also
чем я.
Kind of not to put a damper on that, but there are also a lot of players who have spent no time and know nothing.
И в то же время полно игроков, которые
вообще
не играли. И очень
and like quite seriously, right? So there's a lot of stuff about first player experience,
right?
First 10 hours, first 2 hours. I mean, all that stuff. I mean, all that stuff is actually really important.
Есть игроки, которые только начали играть, поиграли 2 часа или 10 часов.
The players as a whole. I mean, there it doesn't like.
И
I don't expect Greyhound to necessarily care what a player who has no interest in playing well, but likes the idea of the game and wants to play it. What they think about the weapons.
Be talking about the same thing actually, because I've been trying to do a playthrough of the player from the perspective of a new player who has just started the game, who just sees things as they are for the first time. For example, perks cooldowns, what is the weapon balancing, how it works without mods, without overclocks. Well, I'm not exactly impressed, to be frank.
No problem.
Я недавно... Грейхан говорит, что недавно пытался посмотреть на баланс с точки зрения нового игрока, то есть без оружия без модов и без оверклоков, и не был этим впечатлен.
Yeah, absolutely. This was a definite buy for me. Like I think I bought upwards of 10 copies probably for people, maybe more.
Okay.
I think I don't know. I'm just I'm only saying this because this is my experience. I can appreciate that Grey. So what was your main critique of the Grey, of the first player experience?
Some of the weapons scale with mods a bit too well, but they are lackluster base weapons. Warthog, Stubby, GK2, M1K to an extent.
Некоторые оружие с модами убивают слишком хорошо, комментирует баланс Майк.
I know you like these weapons.
Maybe.
Anyway.
Hey Driller, I'm out of ammo and there's a whole bunch of stuff coming this way.
Oh yeah, I got you.
Just order another one.
We've got quite a bit. You can order one right now if you want. But yeah, where were we? Okay, so weapons, weapon tweaks. What about mission types? Is that you, or did I send an essay to the wrong person as well?
А что о типах миссия? Ты за них ответственна?
So mission types is a more like
office-wide.
Yeah. So that is a much more collaborative work. So I mean, now that weapons are what? Motherfucker.
Прошу прощения.
You were saying, sorry?
What was I saying?
Now that missions are done, you can look at weapons.
Yes.
Is that what I was saying? No. Oh yeah, the missions. Yeah, so that's a much more collaborative process. I mean, it's also so are weapons, of course, but the balancing of the weapons, usually I'm just doing that mostly on my own at this point in terms of the office, except when new cool new features want to be implemented, then of course need programming power there. Although of course, like the new weapons, for example, right? So there that involves with, so I made some initial concepts, and then kind of now we've just been talking about it. Me, Mikkel, getting other people's perspective on this stuff.
So those clips were you then?
There's what?
Those clips that were shown on the dev stream the other week, that was you, right? That was you playing?
Yeah, exactly. That was me playing in
Gotcha.
a little test scene.
Cool.
The first prototypes of those weapons.
Nice.
So that's exactly right. Like you were talking about programming. So like that's what I kind of could clobber together in Unreal myself, and then of course the actual functionality will then be remade properly.
Судя по всему, прототипы оружия
So it has,
делал
so it
Майк,
doesn't affect performance as much.
последний.
That makes sense.
Но, естественно, не в одиночку.
There's a lot of we're waiting with bated breath. I'm really interested to see what new
I'm also
weapons we can come up with.
super excited
Yeah.
about. I mean, I've been wanting to do new weapons for a long time, but it's a big task.
I think every time you do it, you bring like a new side to every class. So I'm really like just excited to see how all the classes can fare with a brand new weapon set.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if they'll be primary or secondary uniformly. That's the problem.
Still not decided. Still
Yeah,
not decided.
right.
Almost certainly, it's going to be either primaries or secondaries. Maybe both, but less likely that it's both.
Yeah.
Because that's just.
I
mean,
don't see both. But that's just.
I'm gonna die if I do that.
Yeah, right. That's a lot of extra.
Но если это оружие будет либо первичными, либо вторичными, возможно ситуация, когда будут и первичное, и вторичное оружие, но в такой ситуации мы можем потерять разработчика. Для каждого оружия нужно сделать фреймворки.
Yeah, that makes sense.
The skins are like.
There's a lot of stuff for Corbett and all the design team to do that, and that's quite a lot of work, isn't it?
So. So.
Makes sense.
Very likely it's only going to be 4 weapons. Whether it's primaries or secondaries, still not sure.
That's cool.
Скорее всего, 4. Так
So,
и не определились,
are there
чем
any
это
design
будет,
choices
первичным или
that
вторичным.
you would like to change? You would like to change at this point, as in, and I'm talking just generally, things that you. Yeah, go on.
Don't know. I think if I was doing weapons again from the start, I think I would want to get rid of the whole. I think definitely like ammo, like choosing to take more ammo with the weapon. I think it's just. I think I wouldn't want to do that. I'm not even sure if I would want to do damage either. Like direct damage, like just a plain damage buff. Like I think.
Драги не нравятся моды на урона на патрона. По крайней мере, в своей простой итерации.
Like they're not changing it that much. That said, they are also kind of like the easiest ones to put in.
Но с другой стороны, они самые простые.
When I was first doing the weapons, like
Для понимания,
that shit was
для того, чтобы просто их поставить.
It's like, oh, more damage, more ammo. Put them up against each other. Which one do you want? So of course, I think doing a comprehensive weapon modification system and saying like, I'm not gonna touch ammo, I'm not gonna touch damage. That would be an interesting challenge. But I think if done well, it might actually end up being a better system. I don't know.
Yep, that's something we've been talking about in the balance and server. Put anything else onto that tier. Because it's also the player perception that they want either more damage or more ammo.
Yes.
And anything else is less valuable to them.
Yeah, at least at first, from a first glance, that it is, and it's like one of the things, one of the struggles has been like trying to make other things seem worthwhile when they go up against that. But we are where we are, and redoing the whole mods is currently not on the menu for me.
That's what we expected as well.
So I mean, again, which is kind of like when you were asking about having the mods not be relevant anymore. I think they will always be relevant, especially if there'll be like found ways to make them even more extreme. I think they will always be relevant to actually shift the game into a new place in a cool way that like I simply cannot do. I'm unable to reasonably allocate resources towards that.
Cool. But yeah, so yeah, so you don't like the ammo and the damage. That's fine.
They're really not my favorite. They come with problems, and I think Greyhound also covered it like very well, where he said like the perception, right? I mean, those are the ones that seem like the most useful. Like you should get that.
Even when they aren't.
Even when they necessarily aren't, but at the same time they're also like they're so simple. It's very rarely a bad choice, right? That said, the mods.
Моды на патроны на урон настолько простые,
hopefully nothing feels like too much of a horrible bad choice.
Что, наверное, нет ситуации, в которой они бы были плохим выбором.
Of all the mods, which is why I think very few of them actually have any downsides, and that was kind of brought in a desperate attempt to balance stuff. It's very band-aid. But this thing that, I mean, the mods don't do anything bad to the weapon, right? I mean, even
моды не делают ничего плохого оружия.
Just because it has less recoil does not make it worse.
Мне кажется, что мясо сейчас где-то кепнул.
Which is perhaps the better choice. Whereas the overclocks are kind of like the place where we're playing with the idea that, yeah, you could make a gun that sucks.
Actually, yeah, but I think one of the things I've ended up saying to Johan and Axel is that overclocks, while making a lot of guns, not that they won before, but you know, there's like you know special powder, and there's you know cryo minelets, there's hyper propellant, there's all sorts of things that are, you know, considered like the things that kind of give a new life, breathe a new life into it. It's also like something that I think you guys weren't sure until I think obviously there's no way to have known the long-term effects of overclocks, but basically I'm of the opinion that its main has 5. Not too easy, but just a lot more manageable.
Sure. I mean, it was power creep, and we knew that coming in.
Right.
And we're generally very wary of that.
Right.
It's
Оверклоки — это power creep, говорит дреднологист. Точнее, он соглашается с этим суждением.
Not like, oh, whoops, oh, that, like,
as I said, there's no way to tell really until it happens, kind of, some of the time. So, yeah, I understand. But yeah, let me just see. So in terms of game design, do you also have something to do with the combat puzzle? Are you also one of the people who kind of decides what needs adding or taking away?
I mean, are you talking about in terms of enemies?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, enemies. So first off, we are 3 designers on the team.
Okay, yeah.
3 дизайнера в команде, и дреднологист говорит, что он также работает и над мобами.
Fran has helped quite a bit with that as well.
Nice. We're going to the drop pod, by the way.
Yep. Oh yeah. I'm still running in circles.
No, I'm doing the exact same. Our teammates are way more switched on
Внезапно
than
оказалось, что
ourselves.
половина команды просто бегает по кругу.
But yeah, but so yeah, quite a few of us have made different enemies and stuff
Yeah.
like that. But,
Nice.
anybody who's been killed by a bulk detonator, you can
that
think that's me.
Ah,
So,
oh wow, okay. Oh
That's
wow.
how much I love you.
Oh wow,
I just
okay,
want
we
to
have the
blow
bulk
everybody
detonator
up.
designer here.
Майк
We didn't
делал
realize that. That's what happened with
гигантского
the
детонатора.
one. We weren't really sure what he designed.
Он стоит со всеми смертями.
Drop that he created the Mactera grabber, and then we were like, Sony silence. Like, you did what?
You monster.
Yeah, it was kind of funny. Okay, ooh, Doretta. My favorite.
Yes, I sorry here. Fan favorite even.
Yeah, definitely. I think voted most
Best mission type.
Yeah. My goodness.
Least problematic.
How's it going, Strategy General Man? How's it going, chat? By the way, haven't
Also-
said too much some of the time. Sorry.
Shortest mission.
Oh yeah, the shortest, and you know, I don't want to get too much into it right now, Mike.
No.
But
I know.
For the uninitiated, I did send Mike a lovely essay on Doretta, and don't worry about it. We'll try not to linger, because I think it is something that GSG are conscious of. But yeah, no,
We are more so now.
Уверен, кажись,
now that I've read
прислал
your
эссе Майку.
essay,
Yeah?
that was
Или ГСГ в целом,
No,
о том,
but
как он
I
любит
think
Доретто.
that was very concise. So the thing is,
Doretta bad. You only get Doretta bad. I hate Doretta. You don't
mean,
get any actual feedback.
we
Is that what
do
you're
get
saying?
feedback, but there's also there's a period where and like I am active on our like Discord and Reddit, and there are periods when I'm not.
Right.
Бывают
That
периоды,
is
когда
simply
я
because it
активен
is almost a full-time job.
Right.
ГСГ
Reading feedback.
на Дискорде.
So
Reddit
I do it,
иногда нет.
of course, around the time of releasing updates. Of course, immediately after releasing updates, seeing initial reactions, seeing if anything is like we were blind to something completely that players are like, oh yeah, by the way, did you know that
Right.
like this happens now in the game? So, but
Yeah. No, I think one of it was really interesting to see these two new game modes, honestly, because it's been such a long time since you guys have created anything in the way of a game mode.
Было интересно увидеть
I
новые
think one of the things we
режимы.
noticed was that these two game modes were a lot more team involved, a lot more team heavy,
yes.
and you require a lot of coordination and.
Эти режимы требуют больше координации.
we got one of yours, Mike.
You got mine on mine.
I'll try and a glorious Venga Bolt. Oh, we didn't get to boom it in time. Too bad. But yeah, so I found these missions like very like people were revisiting an old game almost, but giving it a fresh coat of paint. You know what I mean?
I think I understand.
Yeah.
And kind of was that.
Absolutely. I think that's why it happened the way it happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Honestly, both these last updates I've really loved.
Yeah.
100%. I have my complaints about Doretta, but I really do like her.
I'd be surprised if you didn't. I mean, that was actually one of the things when we were like, should we do like an escort mission?
Yeah, because obviously
And
it's got the track record, right?
Oh man, yeah. In games in general, yeah. There's a track record for escort missions.
This is my least hated one still, though. Just
Thank
FYI.
you. I'm so happy.
Like least hated.
to hear
Like,
that.
I was very
least hated of the
confused.
hated.
It's true. I mean, I was very surprised if you watch me doing my like live reaction to when you guys were unveiling these. I was very surprised by the health bar, because I'm like, oh no, like if if a bolt gets in the way of that, the number of times that Doretta has drilled into a bolt detonator and died has hurt me.
Yes.
But yeah, so your fault again. It's your fault again, Mike.
Yes, but I mean.
Yeah, no, of course not. It's not like you intend for every bad experience to occur, of course.
I mean,
well,
like,
I mean, bad
The
within
bolt
reason.
was kind of intended as a bringer of
Doom.
of happiness, and team wipes and such. I mean,
Обсуждает взаимодействие Дорета с гигантским детонатором. Майк аргументирует, что детонатор всегда был признаком тимвайпа.
Hey, remember when the ratings to instantly die if a ball detonator blew up on her on experimental?
Yes.
Помните, как Дорет мгновенно умирала, если Редекс не срывался?
It was fun.
Oh, it's exploded for a second. I keep forgetting.
Oh,
We lost the side. Nice. And we lost 2
I
dwarves.
lost.
Ooh, come on. Let's meet shield. Down at the bottom.
I fell down the pit.
Okay,
Oh, no.
Gray and Mike, you hold the 4. I'm gonna go get him.
Hold the fort, he says. I got 2 rounds of ammo left.
Oh, get a resupply in the next round.
Mine.
Oh.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Let's go meet shield. Oh no, wait, you're a scout. Never mind. Oh yeah, so can you give us any info about mod support? Or is that
Что можешь сказать о поддержке
I'm not
модов?
really doing any work there at all. Right now it's primarily a technical thing.
Я над ней не работаю, но сейчас все это технический вопрос. Заинтересован, хочет модов.
Alright. Oh wow. Right. What do people dislike about Doretta Catcher? I don't want to get into it too much. Like I don't. God damn it. That's a complicated subject. I can give you the cliff notes, which is basically lots of swarmers.
That's the cliff notes. I love it.
The cliff notes is lots of swarmers.
There's so many swarmers.
Technically a problem, but not the one we're looking for. Refueling can get a bit tedious, and the Hearthstone battle is once you've fought it a few times, you've kind of seen it.
Yes.
It's kind of predictable, but again, you know, like I appreciate that the procedural generation of that fight comes from the spikes and so on, because it is a static enemy. It is hard to make it, you know.
I mean, it used to have so the kind of like the floor you're fighting on. That was a later addition.
Yeah.
It was a sad addition because our caves is one of the things that adds to the making things different, making fights a little different.
Идет аргументация. Хуин отзывается о камне, о том, что его фаза интересна, но только не первые несколько раз, и потом ты к ним уже привыкаешь. И дреднологист рассказывает, что раньше пола под Амароном не было. И это немного грустно. Потому что генерация добавляет уникальности каждому сражению.
That is very samey, and it would be nice to bring some more variety into that. I think that is definitely something I would love to do.
Awesome. That's great to hear. There's a lot of up here.
Yeah.
In one set. Yeah, no, I mean, again, I think it's just literally teething options. You can't really get this kind of feedback until you've had the community have like a few months playing it. So I feel like these changes would probably have occurred, you know, regardless. It's just kind of a question of timing. Goodness, yeah, well,
sure. I mean, it's a question of timing, but it's also a question of a lot of stuff. Again, is a question of budget, right? I mean, any time spent.
Много вещей это вопрос времени, но также много вещей это вопрос бюджета.
There's a lot of stuff we still want to make in the game.
Absolutely.
So it is always compromises, non-stop compromises. It's ridiculous.
For sure.
Есть множество вещей, которые мы хотим платить в игре, и каждый раз, когда мы выбираем одно, мы отказываемся от другой. И поэтому каждое обновление это компромисс. Всегда компромисс. Каждый раз, когда наш программист делает какую-то новую функцию, мы теряем время, которое могли бы потратить на багфиксы.
I'm just
Maybe.
kind of running around and talking.
No, that's okay. It's okay.
But I guess that's kind of what I'm here for.
Exactly.
more than anything.
Дага снова обнаружил, что он просто бегает по кругу.
We've got,
We, like you said, we have professionals.
yeah, we got pros here, so you and I can just kind of chill for a bit while I miss EPC mining shots all the time. Let's see. Favorite pizza?
Favorite pizza? Oh,
Любимая
oh
пицца.
boy. I like so many. I love pizza. Pizza's amazing.
Good answer. I mean that
Люблю разные.
an answer, so.
Yeah. So we're here in Denmark. I've seen people put I've seen pizzerias put stuff on pizza that
Good.
to me, I mean it's so I lived a lot in New York before I came to Denmark.
Раньше много работал в
Pizza in New
Нью-Йорке.
York is a generally a
Oh,
more
yeah.
simple affair. And then I come here and then there's like salad and sour cream on it. It's like what?
Oh yeah.
What? How? I mean, I know
Yeah.
people complain about pineapple, but I mean, this is taking it to whole other levels.
I remember that.
Пицца со сметаной.
So,
Интересно.
and I don't know if it's a Danish thing or if
Это-
it's a European thing.
It's a Danish thing. I can confirm.
Комментирует
Okay, okay.
то, как он переехал в Европу,
Maybe-
посмотрел на пиццу, а здесь
maybe-
пицца
maybe
с
in the
сметаной.
hot somewhere.
И он
But
даже
not-
не уверен до сих пор, что
Yeah, they are
это
like-
европейская
But,
традиция или
so
же
yeah,
именно...
so I'm not really into those, but I guess more safe pizzas.
People
really like all
in
of them.
chat usually want to know what
Он
your
любит
stance on
более
pineapple
классические
pizzas. I don't know
ванильные
why.
пиццы.
It's like I pretty much I've never ordered it.
when you've tried it?
Because to me it seems like a waste. But I've tried it and I don't think it's bad.
Okay.
It's just not my favorite.
Sorry.
So
All right.
If you didn't DCF a scout during an escort mission, was that really a game?
That's
sorry?
Gray was asking if you don't really TCF a scout on a escort mission. Have you even really been playing the game? Just how it is. Yeah. So we can talk briefly about your TCF, the upcoming battle with the TCF.
Oh yes. Yeah, I'm not sure what to say yet because I'm not sure what I'm gonna do yet.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
But
Снова зашел вопрос
yeah, I
про
think
TCF. Снова ответ, что он не знает, что с ним
I
будет
mean,
делать. Пока что
You
к нему
don't,
не
you don't want to be
So
приступил.
the
much
fun
happened.
runner.
No. Well, first off, yeah, I don't want to do that because I think, I mean, I really, or let me give slight history lesson.
Yeah.
No,
Please
not
do,
lesson,
please do,
but
please do.
a story. Let me tell you a story.
Please do.
A story about TCF.
История TCF.
So the whole carving part of it.
А
That was
именно
me saying,
история про
hey,
то,
wouldn't it be
как она
cool if it like
вырезает.
left the crater, because then it would look like it was a bigger explosion. The end. And
Oh,
here we
wow.
are.
Wow. So it wasn't even meant to really mine minerals.
That was not the initial intention. Then, of course, it
Сначала
happened, right?
планировалось, что
After
просто
I
оставлял
put it
кратер.
in, and it's like, hey, look at that. It, like, of course, this happens. That's cool.
А потом
Happy-
пришли
whatever.
игроки и все
A
испортили.
happy accident. And, I mean, I love happy accidents. And, of course, I know some people then feel that it's taking the scout's job away or something like that. And in some ways, you could say maybe sort of. You could then say you could do a better team by not bringing scout and instead using EPC mining. But that's not really also what I want the game to be.
I mean, you could also just bring 4 gunners. And
Даге
You
нравятся
could, exactly.
такие
And
интересные
then
случаи,
fun.
когда происходит что-то
It was
веселое.
a decision
Но
early on to not
в комьюнити
consider for balance
появились...
stacked teams. To just
В
say,
комьюнити появились
fuck it.
люди, которые
Right.
стали говорить, например,
if something that is super cool,
то, что можно
that
взять между
happens to
скаутов
break
второго
if you bring
брыльщика.
4 of that class,
Так,
well,
брыльщик выполняет функцию скаута.
that's that. And we actually, that's why we also
ему
put
это не
that
нравится.
option to kind of make it so that you can sort of delivery.
Yeah.
Nitro delivery.
I mean,
That's amazing.
I love TCF and I'm a recent convert. I'm not actually like a long time TCF player, but I don't use it for every mineral. I use it for the ones that I know I can quickly gather right here, right now. But I'll leave the higher up ones to scout.
Sure.
So,
I mean,
yeah, it depends. I see what you're saying though. I mean,
it is, of course, it's a huge like time saver. So I mean, I can kind of like let you into my head a little bit in terms of things that that are currently on the table. I have no, like, again, I'm not currently working on the EPC, but like when kind of this whole thing, like update 34 was happening, I was like, okay, so probably should do something about this. People keep talking to me about it. So, and that's kind of was, okay, well, maybe it's just a question of making it be a little less convenient. So right now it drops the minerals in a nice, neat little parcel down for you to pick up. So it could launch them kind of the way a loot bug does instead.
Хочет
So it's like,
поменять.
yes, it's convenient, it's a fast way to do it,
Да,
but then you have to do a little
не
bit of legwork
работает
as well.
сейчас над
So it
EPC,
has a bit of
но
a time cost
он думает над тем, чтобы
associated with
сделать
it and is
EPC
not quite as
менее
efficient.
удобным.
I'm sure some people
И планирует
hate that.
сделать так,
I
чтобы
don't know.
минералы разлетались при взрыве.
I don't actually do TCF mining myself when I play Driller.
yeah, sure.
So that's again where like my feelings for it are very different from players' feelings for it. So
Мои ощущения от
but
EPC
that's one of
отличаются
them.
от
The other one,
ощущений
of course,
игроков
is that,
CBC,
Flying Nightmare
потому что я им
has
особо
been
не
drawn
играл.
to my attention and is very true. Like, I mean, that I've kind of like at one point I did a nerf on it and then I kind of just left it and moved on to new things. So I think that could use a bit of a look at.
Буквально один раз сделал какой-то нерф
Who's
и
he on?
забыл об
I think
этом.
he's on me.
I got Trijaws
Or
on
he's-
the,
No, he's on somebody else now.
he's on me. Oh, watch
Volk
out.
is no.
He's pushing
Yeah,
target to me.
I think Volk is moving towards somebody on the other side of the radar. Why am I out of freaking ammo again? Sorry, calling you resupply.
Снова дага без патронов.
That's fine. We got plenty of ammo. We got plenty of ammo. Because I've got you on at the minute. So every time someone decides to send us some enemies, they also send us some nitro.
Nice.
Yeah. There's no like because
Thanks, chat.
right. We try and balance.
Viewers.
But,
Oh god, he's gonna kill me. No.
Oh, I should get some of those actually.
Yes.
Oh.
So, Mike,
Yeah.
we are busy building up a fairly large document, about 30 pages.
Oh no.
Weapon balancing, exactly.
Bring it on. I'm ready. I gotta say, if you wanted to be in update 34, or I mean, if you wanted to influence update 34 sooner rather than later, as
Yep.
I'm starting it now, and not. I mean, of course, you can also come later, and then it will come next time I touch upon weapon stuff.
Oh.
Oh shit!
Oh dear.
I screwed up on that.
Грейхаунд рассказал про
Shouldn't need
документ
that part,
на
Yeah, right.
40 страниц по поводу текущего баланса.
Yes.
Дага ему ответил, что если
But yeah.
Actually, well, that would be
что стоит все-таки с этим поторопиться,
as the red loses size,
иначе все эти заметки останутся на следующий
Yeah.
баланс.
Kinda cool.
I mean, so her speed is kind of pretty much limited by the speed of the enemies. They need to be able to catch up to you while you're riding the Reda.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Скорость Доретта ограничена скоростью
So
врагов.
that's why, I mean, I know there was talk about, well, can the players do something so that she speeds up? And I mean, but then that's kind of becomes that's the thing to do, right? Because then
wouldn't
you
ever
are
face the bugs. You just keep driving away.
Exactly, and it's like, I mean, of course, theoretically they would then come up to you, but we also have this thing with the, I mean, there's a limit to how many bugs can be active at once. So actually, if like you stop killing them at some point, they stop spawning.
Yeah.
They're like there's just no more stuff left in the old. I mean, to keep the CPU from dying.
I wouldn't mind a little bit of extra Doretta health so that you could sweep some bugs off the bottom of the hull.
I mean, so of course it's also, I think, I mean, there's definitely improvements that can be done to this mission, and we
Нага
want to do it.
считает,
It's,
что
again, a question of when, right?
миссии конвоя
And
возможно кое-какие улучшения, однако он не знает, когда это будет.
it's very hard for
Когда
us
на это
to,
выделить время.
like, I mean, we have yet to ever dedicate an update to just fixing stuff up.
Нам нужно когда-нибудь сделать обновление, чтобы просто починить вещи, которые уже есть.
While it would be nice, of course, to spend a lot of time. I mean, first off, from a developer perspective, it's a bit boring.
Но со стороны разработчика это будет скучно. Всегда интереснее делать что-то новое.
Smoother, more balanced, better, all that stuff. It is super satisfying. But I'm far more excited about the new weapons that I'm prototyped than about balancing the old ones.
И, соответственно, ему гораздо более интересно сейчас делать новое оружие, чем балансить старое.
We've got a question from chat, a few of them actually.
Yeah.
One of them is, can we expect to see any new enemy types at some point?
Yes.
I think the answer is
Don't know when, but yes, definitely. Making new enemies is lots of fun.
Спросили, будут ли новые враги? Ответ – будут, но не знаю, когда.
We have enough enemies so that any new additions will try to put a bit more thought into them. See if they can fill some sort of gameplay niche, stuff like that. Again,
у нас так много врагов, что для того, чтобы какого-то врага добавить, но нужно найти ему нишу.
Whether it is like, I don't know, let's say we literally make a clone of a Praetorian that behaves exactly the same.
Yeah, I think I had
an artist would still have to make a new model, animate it, all that stuff. So in that sense, like,
нам бы не хотелось сделать нового претарианца, старого претарианца, клона претарианца и добавить ему новую модель.
But I think if we don't do that, it feels a bit of a waste.
Потому что это просто растрата ресурсов.
No, I get that. You want, yeah. Time efficient.
It's also again more interesting to work on, right? I mean, I don't want to make a boring enemy.
И он не хочет делать скучных врагов.
I mean, you did make the bulk detonator, so I believe you.
I did.
I believe you. Yeah. Oh, the next question was, what are your thoughts on the speedrunning community within Deep Rock?
Что думаешь о спидранах и спидранской
really enjoy
комьюнити?
watching that stuff.
Yeah, you do?
I do.
Do you watch,
I
do you watch
mean,
ZOS? Are you a ZOS fan?
I have seen some of Zos's streams. I also enjoy watching just like speedrunning videos on YouTube.
Он смотрит спидраны.
I mean, in general, like, oh yeah, we have you with the EPC.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Care.
Тот Майк вспоминает, что
And I think it's
ходит на EPC.
I mean, for me, it's very impressive. The most impressive thing about me is the situational awareness that I think high-level players have in our game. It's amazing.
Самое интересное, что находит в игроках, это осведомленность и ситуация, которая есть у некоторых. Не знают, куда идти и что делать. Не знают, что вокруг них.
Got it.
Yeah, there's some mad speedrunners out there. CA, Medell, Sela.
There is.
There's some really great people. Oh,
I don't know.
That PGL shot just bounced all around off of that spike.
Yeah, I totally forgot that I brought the best mod of all mods on the PGL, which is the thing that makes it
Дага считает
extra fun. I think that one together with
мод 5-го тира у ПГЛ лучшим модом на гранатомет.
Fat Boy with bouncy, with the proximity.
Толстяка с
Use.
прыгучкой, конечно, да.
That boy is the definition of a glass cannon.
Это и есть то, что называют стеклянной пушкой.
Even have you tried Fat Boy with proximity trigger?
No,
and
I don't want to.
Not
Do it.
directly impacting enemies? Well, that's a recipe for team killing.
It's great.
Толстяк с прыгучкой — это рецепт для
further
тимкила.
downfield, right? I mean, you could actually bounce it further down, right? Anybody listening to this, do not do that combination. That's a bad combination.
Try this at home.
Все, кто об этом
I mean, or try
слышали,
it at home
пожалуйста,
by
не надо
yourself,
делать.
but don't bring it to like a serious game. I think your team would be very upset.
God. That's another thing.
Oh boy.
Yeah, serious games. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of
Oh, that's...
there's a lot of be promoted or get a kick type stuff in DRG.
Oh, not ready?
Oh yeah, I of course I hate that so
Right,
much.
right.
That said, of
try
course
to
I mean, it's something that I cannot see. I mean, I don't know. Since because by the way, like the whole thing of DRG even having like a progress system was not a given, right? From the beginning. Necessarily.
С самого начала DRG не
it became a thing,
планировалась
and then we
система
like, first
прогресса.
there was some like kind of more token progress than anything else, just a little a way to feel that you're moving through something, right? Then we decided to expand it to like a proper system.
Разработчики стали заинтересованы в
all that
каком-нибудь
jazz.
ощущении, которое бы показывало
and of
тебе,
course,
что существует какой-то
that always
прогресс.
comes with the haves and have-nots, whether it's for levels, right? Do you have a promotion? Do you not have a promotion? And what does that mean say about you as a player? And I mean, like, there's also a reason why when we did Hazard 5, we decided to gate it behind, right? You have to do the complete 3, I think, is it 3 Hazard 4 missions that you have to do in the assignment?
Four.
Four Hazard 4 missions.
Yeah, I think I'm of the impression that should be they should be locked to Hazard 5 because you're learning Hazard 5, right?
Well, I mean, yes.
Because you can already do Hazard 4. I don't
Well,
know.
that's the thing that it's that we're kind of asking you to prove.
Right.
We're asking you to do 3 Hazard 4 missions before we let you attempt Hazard 5. The reason we don't want, like, we wouldn't want to make it those missions Hazard 5, is that, I mean, in the end, like, we don't want it to be too much of a job for you to try to kill you, to like
that would be a bit too
die in Hazard 5, right? I mean, it's a game, we don't want to lock stuff too hard. But it was kind of
Для
like
того,
this
чтобы
thing,
получить доступ к
and
этому
there was
Хазарду,
that,
требуется 3 или
where the,
4
like,
миссии
join
Хазарда
option actually
4.
can't put
И
anybody into
Май
Hazard
говорит,
5
что им бы не
missions like
хотелось закрывать свой
that.
контент
So, like, brand new
за
players
слишком
who
сложными
decided
печатями.
to just press quick join could end up in a Hazard 5 game. That was a fun bug.
Can they not still join? I thought they still could. Maybe I'm.
You can join your friends. You can always join your friends.
Okay.
You can always invite anybody. So you have control over that. If I'm on your team and you decide to start a Hazard 5 mission, that's no problem, right? I mean, I could be the greenest of the green beards.
Sure.
You can do that because I'm on your team
We like
already.
that. To be fair. I mean,
В принципе, Хазард 5 закрыт, но
I mean, again,
у
like,
тебя
we
всегда
wanna
есть
gate as
возможность
little as possible,
подсоединиться
but
к
we
другу,
knew that, like,
или
I
же
mean, that it was probably a good idea for
или же
people
пригласить
before they
его.
kind of could
Не
just
важно, насколько он
jump
гринберд.
into a random Hazard 5 game, that they at least could play a Hazard 4 game. But yeah, I of course I don't like the people being overly unkind to each other. I also totally understand that
Мне
you
нравится
want
то,
to play
что
with
люди
good players,
слишком
for example, or players similar to your caliber.
некрасиво себя ведут
And,
по отношению друг к другу.
Raise the
I
key,
mean,
hope you're having a nice one.
For anyone who doesn't know, probably the easiest way to do that is to like find a group on Discord. We have looking for group channels and stuff like that.
Yeah, I love your Discord.
If you don't have a group to play with or something like that, I mean that's an easy way to find a team that maybe you can feel happier with, and it's effectively a pickup group, right? I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
and and like now, and luckily for us, with the kind of the growing size of the player base and our Discord, right? I mean, it's not like there's a lot of people looking for games, interested in playing.
Can I bring some stats into this?
bring it. I am not actually aware of our stats. Shoot.
So I was playing Vermintide like a year ago when
Yes.
I got into this game.
Vermintide 2?
Back then,
Or 1?
from
2.
about update 22 or something. So
I think it means 2. Yeah.
I'm comparing the subreddits.
Yes.
Vermintide subreddit used to be way bigger than DRG's, but it has exploded. Like, literally exploded. It's,
Wait, the DRG subreddit?
it has way more players. Yep, DRG subreddit now has way more active users.
Грейхан сравнивает сабреддит DRG с сабреддитом Vermintide и говорит, что сабреддит DRG когда-то просто взорвался. То есть у него был очень сильный прирост активных людей.
For subreddits.
Yep.
Yeah. Subreddit, yeah. I mean, I'll take it. I'll take it.
Sorry, you were saying about the market and
The what? No, I'm just saying, yeah, if you want to find a more like consistent group or a better group where you feel that you are a really good player and you only want to play with really good players, I think instead of relying on randoms joining your group, or instead of relying on player rank to somehow communicate player skill, which it does, and at the same time it doesn't.
yeah.
Your chances are lower, right? Of course, if somebody has a promotion, that means they've played the game
Right.
more and all that stuff. But, I mean,
Yeah.
you can promote on Hazard 1.
Right.
You can go all the way.
You're right. It's yeah. We joke that sometimes we find better like greenbeard scouts than like experienced ones. So yeah.
But I mean, people are not equal. I mean, there are better players that are just better players that are better at aiming. I mean, like I'm not particularly good at aiming.
Майк рассказывает, что он не особо хорош в наводку.
When I was playing Counter-Strike, my job was to throw
Он
grenades.
рассказывает о том, что комьюнити сейчас гораздо более активно общается между собой в
I'm that guy.
Дискорде.
I'm really good at being a team player.
Ему нравится
I'm
альтернатива,
really into that stuff.
потому что
But like, I mean, if I'm the first one going
люди,
through the door,
которые смотрят на ранке,
I'm gonna be
они...
shot before I get to shoot anybody, right?
Ранги — это плохой инструмент для того, чтобы
So I'm sure there are
оценить
greenbeards that can hold off a
ранги,
board better than I can.
опыт игрока,
No, but I'm
потому
just
что
saying,
технически возможно получить повышение, даже не выходя с первого
No,
хазарда.
fair enough. Yeah. Player rank disparity is always interesting to see. Like, I think one of the best memes that's done the rounds is the one where someone who's like very high rank actually really likes, you know, newer players joining because that makes it more of a challenge. Bringing like a new guy in or a new person.
And it's
in.
the middle rank that's.
Yeah, right. you know the exact meme I'm talking about. Oh, I got leech.
I know.
did.
Oh no, we hardly knew you.
I'm right here, Gray.
Oh, it was a nice little horizontal leech.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Gourmet.
I would love for that to look better.
Yeah. No,
When they kind of, I mean, we're talking about whether or not it would be possible to have leeches actually like traverse the caves in search of prey.
Cursed. That's the most cursed.
У них было обсуждение, стоит ли делать так, чтобы пиявки могли
Gotta keep moving, right? Gotta keep going.
перемещаться по
The bulk is
пещере.
done.
Oh no. Oh well. That's
Yeah.
fine. It's actually fine.
Yeah. And there's also the whole Nitra thing in deep dives.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no. I mean, this is.
Yeah,
this
we
is
have
a bit different.
800. Nerf it again.
No. This is from viewer spawns.
Oh.
That was a joke. That was a joke.
We're getting a bit of nitro from viewer spawns.
It's still, you still can have a lot.
Yeah. Right. I agree.
We could a little bit actually.
Обсуждать нитро на типдайвах.
Yeah, you changed
Сейчас
it, you
у
get down by 15%.
команды
I think I got
около
it. I think I got
800
it. And that was just kind of like, we
нитро.
know we need to
Но
change
это
it,
из-за
we're not
того,
sure by
что
how
с каждым
much.
спауном от
We also know
Твича
that
им
there's,
добавляется
like,
какое-то
randomness
количество
involved
нитро.
and all that stuff, and we don't want to over pressure players who are struggling by putting a time pressure on them, saying like, I mean, you gotta go because you're gonna run out of freaking ammo
Right.
if you're taking your sweet time. But of course that does mean that like tight, fast teams, they're gonna be sitting on a lot still.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a little less.
Yeah. I think when we saw it as 15, we were like at 25 maybe. But I think again, you guys just keep adjusting as time goes on. To figure
Exactly.
Out yeah.
And it's something like, I mean, having that extra nitra, I hope it doesn't completely ruin the deep dive for anybody.
Yeah, I hope not.
Like, I'm sure it would be more exciting and nicer if you had to worry a little more, for sure. I mean, that would be cool. But it's
Oops.
These things are tricky. Oh, nice. Didn't stop. Hey, Betsy.
I'll bomb you, Betsy. Aww.
Я взрываю тебя, Бетси.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, alright, Betsy. Yeah, take this.
That did no damage.
Did that do no damage? What? For real? Is it because you ran away or because
She ran away.
Ah, okay. Well,
I think Seeing How is quite effective against Betsy from what I'm aware.
I just like it because like you know, I feel it lets me express my anger a little bit. But then when it does no damage like this, but, you know, if you didn't tell me, I wouldn't have known.
Oh yeah. So
Oh, my God.
critical weakness and dreadnoughts. How was it to find that out?
How what?
You seemed perplexed that hadn't been reported. The critical weakness
Yeah.
working on dreadnoughts. We were all just
mean,
we thought that's what you wanted.
What? That critical weakness works on dreadnoughts?
Yeah,
or?
yeah. We were just like, oh.
I mean,
okay.
so I did not realize that it actually worked on dreadnoughts. When
Кстати,
the
критические
critical
слабости
weakness, we
дредноутов.
said it was made, like I did not bother testing it on dreadnought. Just think about it.
Когда критическая слабость появилась, ее не тестировали на
Now that it
дредноутах.
happens, I mean, yeah, I don't know.
I don't know if lethal enemies affect it. I don't think it does. Maybe it may affect the sentinels though.
I have no
Lethal?
idea.
Full enemy is affect all attacks of the dreadnoughts.
Oh, they do. Okay. So warnings, but
Yep.
not
That-
anomalies for the dreadnoughts. That's fine. To be fair, I like that. Critical weakness makes them way too easy.
I mean,
And it's supposed to
that
bust
pushed it too far.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing. And I think critical weakness is fun. Like it actually changes up a bit the way you play other missions. But the elimination mission is about killing those things. So turning it into like this.
Дредноуты,
I don't like it.
точнее их взаимодействие с критической слабостью было понерфлено из-за того, что
I mean, I don't. Yeah, I think.
это сама суть
One thing
миссии.
that, you guys recently
Пойти и
removed that
поубивать
got added back
дредноута.
in the game
И-
almost immediately was the dreadnought extra waves.
Sure.
Which
Is there a mod for that now?
There's a mod for that now.
Nice.
Yeah, no, I mean people love their pain.
Yeah. So the thing is, so like the dreadnoughts, like I really have been wanting to make the dreadnought tougher.
Bugs.
Yay!
Oh,
I'll kill it.
yeah. One of my favorite things about the bolt detonator is the fact that the shield makes the ball bounce off of it in like a cool little.
Моя любимая вещь в гигантских детонаторах — это
Chef's kiss.
откидывание их шаров посмертных щитом.
Yeah. That.
Sorry.
Just catching up with chat real quick.
Yeah, of course.
I say catching up, but it's just so much. So many
Impossible.
questions. So many questions.
I have a question for Mike.
Yes, Meat Shield, go ahead, dude.
Вопрос.
So you talked about it briefly that you're not directly involved with mod support in Update 34.
Yes.
But one of the things that I'd be interested in seeing is being able to move weapon modification tiers. Like that's something that the modding community hasn't been able to figure out yet. Is there
No.
any ideas about that if that could happen?
I mean, not right now. But I totally understand the value of that.
Вопрос, может ли
I think that is something that
новая поддержка
like
модов
now
дать
that
доступ к
we're saying
комьюнити, менять модификации в
I
оружиях?
think
Он говорит, что пока что это не
I can see
запланировано.
value in that. I could
Но он
also
находит
potentially see
это
us
достаточно
maybe
ценно.
not wanting to do that.
И
I don't
возможно,
know.
что будут причины этого не делать.
After we do this first mod support release, I think this is definitely something that I'll bring up. I can tell you that.
А после первого
And we'll see where that goes.
релиза поддержки модов мы будем смотреть.
If anyone wants to ask some questions, by the way, feel free to. Oh yeah, so I didn't hear what are your Hall of Fame games, like the ones that.
I mean, so without too much thinking about it, probably at the top of it is the first Portal.
Oh, wow.
Твоя любимая игра?
That's a memory.
Дага отвечает, первый Portal.
I mean,
I'm very much in agreement.
love that game.
Yeah.
2 bits. Then I don't know. I mean, for me it's really hard. I think when I talk right now, it's pretty much gonna be games that are kind of like burnt inside my head, perhaps more than games that I would like put on a list of what I think are the best games of all time. But so I'm gonna say yeah. So Portal, Doom 2 for me, not 1, but
Doom
2
2.
specifically. Dark Souls.
Dark Souls.
The first Dark Souls.
Первый.
I actually never played the second and the third one.
Но он никогда не играл второй и третий.
I loved bits. I don't know. I think well, that's all the stuff that came to my head right now.
И
I mean,
это все,
Payday,
что он
actually, the first Payday, also the second one.
смог вспомнить. Но дополняет, что Payday первый.
Then I'll should also say Left 4 Dead. Again, the first one. Didn't play that much of the second one.
You know, I was gonna say your first one with Portal. That's a, like not very lore heavy game there, and same with DRG. Is that? I guess. Are you a lore master?
No, not at all. But I have very strong opinions about it.
Oh.
Mainly that we shouldn't do too much.
That's fair. That's fair.
Or like that we should continue.
Хуйвин проводит забавные параллели с Portal первым, что и там, и тут практически нет лора. И спрашивает, было ли это вдохновением.
Mind, if you will, which is a great place for it to be, because in many ways that's where all our normal stories live. Like, so instead of saying what is what, I mean the idea that you can imagine instead. I love it.
Опять-таки, Дредноукист ссылается на концепцию, когда лор не рассказывается полностью, и в некоторых местах нет даже намеков на то, что на самом деле происходит. И весь лор, точнее большая его часть, предоставляется самим пользователям, чтобы они сами его домыслили.
But this is a different beast, and again, I think in many ways the endlessly replayable nature of it and the co-op nature of it. I mean, I don't know. I am just really happy with what happened with our lore. It was not intentional necessarily. It was just like kind of like, okay, well let's put a few things in here. We don't.
И по поводу лора, они сделали это не специально. Просто в какой-то момент они решили, что нужно добавить чего-то. И
there is some stuff like that is still hanging out, waiting for its time to shine, but I don't know when that's gonna be, and I'm certainly not gonna say.
Есть еще что-то интересное.
Floppy disk.
Что ждет своего времени. Опять-таки, это время неизвестно.
One historical person. The floppy disk. What floppy disk?
Oh. Straight up denial of its existence by the dev. That's interesting. Very interesting.
I'm
You're actually curious. Okay, well,
I'm
Хвен
actually not sure what
интересует история флоппи диска,
we'll look into it. Okay,
который
so,
находится в Space Rig.
more questions.
Но Дага его не знает.
Regrets about anything that you have or haven't done in DRG or that you wish you could change? I guess that we've kind of already had that question before, but if there's anything in particular that you'd also like to highlight, Mike?
No, not. I think. I mean, so the thing is, right? I mean, you can look at it this way. The game has surpassed our expectations of what it would achieve.
Вопрос, что бы хотелось ему изменить в игре?
Hard for me to say what I think could have been done better.
Right. Yeah.
Но
About detonator, watch out.
Дага говорит, что игра превзошла его ожидания, поэтому сложно сказать, что бы ей могло потребоваться.
What happened to the power-up idea mentioned a while ago? Oh yeah.
Not dead. Not dead.
Not dead.
It's but it's not priority. Right now. I really like it as a way to offer, like, again, some ways to mix up the play, being able to bring in some fun mechanics. Again, for example, something like the jump boots or like.
Было бы интересно добавить какие-то веселые механики, вроде тех же прыжковых ботинок.
Like weapon situations, I don't know, anything. I think this thing of power-ups that yeah, you can't rely on them being there, and maybe it's there, and then maybe you have to do something to find it. Yada yada yada. I like it, but I don't know when that's gonna happen. I'm very busy from now until update 35. I can tell you that much.
Yeah, no, it seems like you've got your work cut out for you on two fronts. I'm really interested to see what the new mission type could possibly be. That's
yeah.
That's really tantalizing me.
I'm sure. I don't want to say anything about that yet because
no, of course
it's not locked in yet. Even here, I mean, we're still prototyping. We've been prototyping.
Все еще неизвестно, что будет миссии на 35-е обновление, даже внутри команды.
We decided to put it on the back.
I do remember being three.
It needed more work.
Yeah.
At point, we realized that it was a bit ambitious, so we wanted to like wait and then also explore more and like yeah. Anyway, so we decided escort and refineries is what we were gonna do. So now this one is getting more time, and it is a tricky one. Like I can tell you, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
Раньше им не хватало времени для того, чтобы уплатить третью идею, но сейчас у них его достаточно.
Update 35?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, all missions take a long time for us to make. Longer than biomes. Biomes take a lot to make, but.
Биомы требуют много времени для того, чтобы их делать, но миссия потребляет еще больше.
Sure.
Which is good, obviously. That's what you want. Yeah.
Yes.
We've got meat shield AFK a sec. I think we'll just do. Do you want to just do a random has 5.5 mission?
Random has it 5. Sure.
I mean, it's gonna be grueling, but it'll be
it's
fun.
okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a game.
Yeah, exactly. Precisely. Proceeds. So, hang on. I guess favorite class. Do you have a favorite class?
It's like asking somebody about favorite children or something.
I mean, some people have favorite
not answering
children.
that question.
Some people have favorite children.
I know, but they still
Это как вопрос о любимых детях.
Even if they have favorite children, they shouldn't answer that question. I mean,
well, you can
Но даже когда есть любимые дети, на этот вопрос не отвечают.
No. But actually, so I'll tell you this much. When I first joined Ghost Ship Games, which, by the way, the classes already existed at that point. When I joined, as did the first set of weapons.
Okay.
So, and when I joined, engineer was my love.
Когда Дага пришел в команду, тогда только-только появились классы и прототипы оружий, и Даге тогда понравился инженер.
called, like before it ever went to early access. I really enjoyed playing solo missions as engineer, because I found it really cozy.
You wanna come over here and play the Hook game and have a beer while we wait for Meatshield?
Oh
Meatshield's back
god,
now,
the
never
Hook
mind.
game. I hate that game.
You hate it? You
I
bad
suck at it so. I'm so bad at it.
Oh my
I didn't
God.
make it. I'm bad at it.
Who made it?
Fran.
Fran.
Кто сделал бочкобол? Френ?
Thanks, Fran.
Спасибо, Френ.
Who even? Have you already gone through all the list of questions in Discord?
Yes, kind of, or they've at least all been touched on some way. But if you want to ask a question that you wrote down that you think I didn't ask, feel free.
Yeah, the one at the very bottom I don't think has really been touched on yet. Mike, something that's been on my mind recently, actually not recently, for a very long time. Some of the tooltips on like what each mod or overclock does, the equipment terminal in-game.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on the imprecision of that information? Are you worried about overwhelming new players with not giving too robust of a description?
Почему?
So it actually goes two ways.
Блин.
So initially it was just like getting stuff out as quickly as possible.
Почему некоторые описания к модам неполные? Ответ Даги изначально это было быстрый набросок.
Like expand on this when I have time, but now I want to continue working on stuff like that. It goes through. But then actually
Отложили на позже, но, как мы знаем, позже никогда не наступает.
Too much like false information.
Oh, yeah, Cropper.
And no, I do not want to get into the discussion about the minigun.
Много различной ложной информации, и он не хочет вступать в полемику о минигане.
Although it's a very valid discussion, but I just don't want to do that here now. But then kind of so Carl GG happened.
А потом появился Карл ГГ.
And like our community happened and all that stuff, and the wiki happened. And
И Вики, и
I kind of
комьюнити.
like even if we could, I would not want to put all that information into the game. I want it to exist in that realm. I think it's amazing that it exists like that. And I think it's cool that Carl GG is actually like more accurate, more like clear than what our game has.
Ему нравится то, что в
It's supplementary material, but it, I mean, again,
Карле
I mean, let me put it this way: it's usually easier for me to
много
get precise
информации.
information about our game by looking at the wiki than opening up the editor, because it takes time to open up the editor, right?
И ему гораздо проще добыть
Because,
информацию из
like, I
Вики,
mean,
чем из
it's a pretty heavy
игры,
program, Unreal Editor, and then
потому что открывать эдитор это длительное занятие.
like, I mean, I use Carl GG when thinking about stuff, because again, it's faster than booting up the game. It's faster than opening up the editor. It's or changing scenes right in the editor. So it's super cool. I love it. I understand that it can bother some people. Possibly some of the people bothered by it are here with us right now.
Maybe. We wouldn't know.
I do understand that. So it's not that I'm not aware, and it's not that I think that that the desire to have like proper information and more clear communication is wrong or anything like that. But that said, I think there has been like situations where some things definitely can use a like more clarity because like to because they're
Общий комментарий. Даги сводится к одному
definitely gonna
предложению.
revisit that. I don't
Мне
know if it's
кажется,
gonna be now.
чему-то
I'm
стоит
actually
добавить
super
немного
interested
больше
right now,
пояснений.
for update 34. So I don't know, but yeah, for sure, some of the things could definitely use a polish, a fix. And then, but otherwise, yeah, I also like the idea that there's stuff to learn about the game, that the game doesn't just tell you, and that you learn it by playing the game.
You learn it with people who are your friends telling you as well, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, and the people who found it out in the first place. Not to mention that, and while I don't have any, I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but I am almost certain there have been synergies in our games that were not intended, that actually only first came to our attention when players showed it to us.
Существует в игре синергия, но он не может их назвать, потому что не помнит. Когда они сами их не планировали, но они внезапно появились.
That you can have that. That you can have, like, fun stuff come out that was not even intended. Once in a while. Like
На постоянной основе появляются какие-то забавные ситуации, что-то незапланированное, и разработчик находит это забавным.
Do you mean in terms of weapon reload?
In terms of anything, you can technically.
So the weapon reload animation canceling is intended. So I've actually each weapon has like a sound that is played at the moment when you can do it. I've personally tested each weapon blind, that I could.
So animation cancelling is a part of the skill ceiling.
Yes.
Wow. Okay, I did not know that. I was under the impression that it was an unintended feature. That's quite cool.
So, it existed before. Let's put it this way: the game had because anyway, it's done through like you have the animation, and then you can have events firing off at different parts of the animation. And like from the beginning, the game was firing off the reload complete a little before the animation ended. So in a way, you could cancel reloads, and I think some weapons had it at different points. But then what we decided to do was to actually, well, it would be cool to actually have that be something that you can do, that you can read on the weapon when to do that.
Раньше, гораздо раньше, наверное, даже до 14-го обновления, или может быть, даже еще дальше, существовала такая забавная ситуация, что оружие перезаряжалось чуть-чуть быстрее, чем заканчивалась анимация. И разработчики в GSG решили, что было бы неплохо добавить это как полноценную механику. Это, кстати, записано в некоторых патчноутах. Я не помню, в каком конкретно, но это было. Взаимодействие между различными видами. Вопрос. И они над этим работают.
And a little bit the refinery mission, but again, where we are exploring this thing of enemies kind of going towards each other. I mean, the first exploration of that was with the pheromone grenade.
Oh yeah, that's right.
На первый опыт в этом деле держала граната феромонов.
There was no way for enemies to do this in the first place, right? So like that grenade kind of brought in some of the technology that then kind of made the Reda possible, and it's slowly being refined. I'm not sure if it's quite there yet.
Ее потихоньку полируют.
I think it'd be super cool with more complex behavior. We know that we want to also put in more neutral things into the caves. I think we're coming to a point where we can oh god, everybody's dead. Why is everybody dead?
Okay, nice one, mate, shield.
Not the time to use it.
Yeah, just give it a sec. I'll use it in a sec.
Yeah, I'm waiting. I'm waiting.
Gonna do a little. Oh. Ow! Fell on that egg.
Good egg. Delicious, delicious red sugar.
While we have downtime, Mike, thank you for the kind words about Carl. I know that myself and the other guys worked really hard to make that a good website for the TFG community. So to hear that you use it personally is it's a high compliment, and thank you.
Sure.
Great. It is really cool.
Мишел говорит спасибо за то, что Майк его использует. Потому что это лучший комплимент.
I'm also sad.
Imagine doing. Apologies, may I interrupt you?
Yeah.
Imagine doing cool things for the community when the community can do it itself. Like, it's Valve's approach. That's what they do as well.
Can you elaborate?
When I first heard of you saying, well, it isn't actually that much of a priority for us to fix bugs because we don't really like doing that. That's when I immediately made a comparison with Valve, who do exactly the same thing. Lots of memes about it in Dota's community, many other games that were made by Valve, that they dislike actually doing bug fixing and long-term maintenance because it just doesn't sound as cool as making new features.
Грехан проводит параллель между CSG и Valve. И говорит, что Valve тоже не любит делать баг-фиксы.
I mean,
high praise being compared to Valve, to be honest.
И по этому поводу даже есть
high
мимо.
praise. I don't know to what extent they take it. I mean, we are fixing stuff all the time, so I don't want to make it seem like we completely deprioritize it.
I think a lot of bugs get fixed in hot fixes. I think that's
also there. But what I mean, but there's also like, I mean, for example, we have a constant battle with performance. The more we add to the game, the more complex we make stuff, which is happening pretty much almost every update.
Чем больше мы добавляем в игру, тем
Like actually every update, the
тем
systems
больше
that are in the
проблем
game
приносит
are actually significantly more efficient than
оптимизация.
they were before. Sometimes more than others, but it is like, I mean, we have programmers that are focusing on gameplay stuff, but we also have programmers that are focusing on the core of the game that has nothing to do with gameplay features.
Некоторые программисты работают над игрой, а некоторые программисты работают над ядром игры.
Core bug fixes, but nevertheless, yeah, I mean, it is more fun to make features. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I'm as a person with ADHD, I would constantly be wanting to make new features. I'd just be like,
Sure,
no,
sure.
I want a new thing. Let me do the new thing.
You think
I get
great.
that. Absolutely. Alright, let's get some more questions from the chat. I get why D-Strom isn't on mining missions, but why not on salvage? Ooh.
Почему Дистрому нет на
Just as for
спасение?
Are you sure it's not on salvage?
I don't think it's... I've never seen it on salvage. But
No,
It's only on point extraction and refinery are the only two mission types that have dice stream.
No, sorry, salvage.
yeah.
I my brain melted and I confused salvage with refinery.
That's okay.
I think at this point, I think it's mostly to piss off the DRG historian.
Well, I didn't even show you the floppy disk. I'll do that.
Ответ к этому моменту это больше для того, чтобы раздражать Хисториана.
What? Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
SMH.
That.
For
Okay.
yourself, real DRG fans. Hey. Oh.
So that's clearly something that an artist put in.
Right.
I was not aware of that existing.
No, that's fine. It's very niche.
That's cool.
I think that's kind of the dope.
Yeah. I mean,
some other questions once I've dealt with these grunts. Do this so I can look. I've never seen loads of questions. Ooh. Oh yeah, okay. Well, favorite biome.
Любимый
Biome that
биом.
you really like playing in at least.
oh, probably
I would
Magma
like
Core.
Magma Core.
Magma Core? Everyone, you know what?
Magma
That's a good
Core.
answer, because it's actually like very sophisticated for its time.
I think it's also because most of the things people hate in it, I put in.
Oh really? So you're the spicy hole man.
I am.
Ah. Okay. Everything that sets people on fire.
I don't know why I
you
just
seem
did
to
that.
do.
Sorry.
Видимо, Даге нравится все, что поджигает
Get out of
игроков.
here now.
Works.
I'm gonna punch you.
I just shot the PGL at somebody at a group of enemies right next to somebody reviving someone else. I'm sorry.
So you can't really tell us anything about the mission type besides robots, apparently.
The new one.
Yeah.
I mean, right now, I don't want to say anything at all.
Of course not. But now that you're on KNN.
По поводу новой миссии, Даг ничего не может сказать.
Damn it! Damn. Well, we tried. We tried. Well, the clue we have is robots, so that's all we know.
I can neither confirm nor deny robots.
Wow. So that much is up in the air, huh?
Хуин говорит, что новая миссия связана с роботами по каким-то источникам, но Майк не может это ни подтвердить, ни опровергнуть.
Gotcha. So it's in the.
We're getting there. We're getting there, but it's not finished yet. It's still prototyping. We're still prototyping, but we're getting to a point where the art team is being involved now.
Okay.
So it's not just ugly squares representing things or whatever.
Right.
Like.
На какой-то момент уже начинаются какие-то подвижки с графической стороны. Появляются новые модели.
They use in like game design academia. So yeah, I didn't go to school for game design or anything like that.
Interesting.
So I'm not actually very smart with that.
Oh no.
I just kind of do it.
Oh, good. Well, that's fine. I mean, you're doing fine from what I can see. Anyway.
I mean, they didn't really have those programs when I started this, so.
Right. So I've not built my turret.
Oh,
yet.
why do I keep doing the same thing? I'm sorry. It's all this talking. I blame the talking. Just leave me.
It's a
leave me.
5.5 game. You've been doing okay.
But I don't understand why, like, you revive me, and the first thing I do is just keep, like, start resupplying again, even though there's like a gazillion enemies around me.
That works.
Дага 2 раза подряд умер от того, что решил взять resupply, когда вокруг полно врагов.
If there was ever a sort of, what was it? Let's see it. It's kind of a funny question. What was that? I've lost that.
Drop it down.
No. Oh, that's good. When I go back to the space, I seem to have lost that.
Oh, hey. Hello, friends. Yeah. I'm not sure what I was expecting.
Oh no, an oppressor.
Yeah.
Who came up with the oppressor?
That was Fran.
Fran, you're the worst.
Кто сделал опрессора? Френ?
I think that was Fran.
Вроде бы.
I think it was someone talking about a crossover. A DRG crossover with something else. So.
Коллаборация DRG с чем-то еще.
Oh yeah, if DRG could do a collaboration / crossover with any other video game, like for instance a Smash Bros character or something, or in Mario Kart, who would you most want to join forces with?
Если бы была возможность, с кем бы вы хотели сделать коллаборацию?
I don't really. I mean, I've only played a little bit of Smash Brothers. It's not my thing.
Of course. Fair enough.
Oh, right.
Whoops, my bad.
I'm just about to
That's
run.
fine.
Just run, dude. We still won.
Come join us,
Bounce.
Greyhound. It's nice here.
I'm just about to res who even.
I mean, TF2 crossover. That's. I mean, is it kind of like where like we send our scout there or something?
Кроссовер Стив 2 отвечает, да.
What is the is
or the engineer? I mean, obviously scout engineer, and I mean, obviously incredibly heavily influenced by Team Fortress 2. So
yeah.
Скаут и инженер вдохновлены
it almost is a crossover.
True.
И это практически кроссовер.
I have to say the driller is the most unique creation of a class in a class type game I've seen in a while. I really do love the class. I think it's my joint favorite.
Glad you like it.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. 100%. Pretty sure it's still actually the least played class though.
That's terrible to me. That's
I mean,
offensive.
not drastically. Actually, like our class balance these days is pretty good.
Дага говорит, что в
Бурило
меньше всего играют, но не сильно. Но не сильно меньше остальных классов.
I harp on about it, but it's the fact that when you start scaling in difficulty, the bugs become faster, so you want to get away from them faster, and a lot of people.
But that was before that happened.
Before the no, I mean even after the weekend. Yeah, I think the weekend athlete did change everything. Yeah. but yeah, I think it is to do with people trying a harder difficulty, being like, oh no, there are some bugs. Okay, yeah, no worries, Gray. Have a nice one. Let's see if I can just grab someone. GG's. Have a nice one, dude. Let me see if I can pull in here real quick. But yeah, I think it is just to do with oh no, bugs, scary fast, zippity. And then that just, I think Scout has got such a fun concept to it too as well that you just don't get from, you know, other games as much. The mobility is just unparalleled.
But now actually I don't think Scout. I haven't looked at it. I'm not sure if Scout is actually even now the most good class.
Yeah.
But they're all actually very, very even. They're very close. So it's not like we at this point we're not even considering it. They're that close. But Driller is still, unfortunately.
That's so sad to me.
I just have a question for Mike.
Yeah,
sure.
Новый вопрос.
So I've been doing a lot of number and data statistic analysis stuff over on the Carl.gg blog.
Yes.
My question is, are any of the numbers from like loadout pick rates of like what weapon mods and overclocks, number of loadouts submitted to give me class pick representations, do any of those numbers line up to what you see in Ghost Ship games?
Okay, so I will now go open up my browser and let's see. Let's see. Carl GG. I even have.
Вопрос, совпадает ли статистика Карл ГГ с официальной статистикой ГСГ. ГСГ не публикует ее, поэтому он смотрит сейчас ее.
Which one can I go to get some numbers?
Go to number, I think it's 11, the analytics of U32 loadouts.
Still looking. There it is.
Alrighty. I'm gonna just do the salvage. Oh no, this was Greyhound's mission. Oh, it's still Rodders' mission? Dude, awesome.
What?
That's so
Leaf
funny.
flowers armpit.
That's so funny. I like it when that happens. Yeah, that's one thing I did really like when you allowed it so that people could have the same missions. Oh no, wait, when you showed like that little QOL change of allowing us to see who in the lobby needed to do what mission is. Mwah.
Ah, yeah.
So good.
Wasn't me.
Okay.
But it's a good one. I agree.
We're not doing the EDD, no. My EDD is still set to 5.5 across the board, so not yet.
Okay, so I'm looking at the stuff here. I don't know. Is it like most popular loadout? So actually, like, don't have very good stats for like full loadouts. So I can't answer to that. But overused options, flamethrower. Let's see, T4, extra ammo. Let's take a look if that's in any way appropriate. Do I have this stuff here?
I hope we get a resupply. Oh, we did. Nice. Won't need it for a while though, lol.
I don't. So our stat stuff is really slow. I just have the gunner stuff.
Yeah, that may not have been a good question to ask in the middle of a live.
No,
interview,
maybe not.
sorry.
Nah, I'll write to you. I'll write to you later.
Okay,
Он
great.
напишет ему,
Sorry.
потому что сайт очень медленно грузится.
Sorry, chat.
Alrighty, no, it's fine. Don't worry about it. They have more time to spawn things on us and what they want.
Of course they do.
Oh. That's quite ruthless. So what was the reaction then when integration finally kind of reared its head on Twitch? Because I think it was.
So that was for me. That was like a very happy moment. So we did integration for.
Ваша первая реакция на появление мода на интеграцию Twitch?
But yeah. So we did it for there, and that I think was like I'm actually not sure if that was part of our deal with Microsoft or not. I am not part of making deals with companies or financial decisions, so no idea. But anyway, we did do that, and that was kind of cool. And I think Jakob, our community manager, he was like, sure, people would love for stuff like this on Twitch.
Yeah.
But it was hard for us to prioritize it, and it was like, yeah, I mean, it would be nice to do it, but I mean, we don't know. Like, I mean, is it is it better doing this than like making a new enemy?
Right.
I don't know.
Они находили возможность интеграции интересной, но тем не менее они решили не уделять ей время, потому что они постоянно находили дела.
When we saw that like it was brought in by the modders, that was just like awesome, yay! Not to mention that the version done by the modders will always be more interesting than anything we can do.
И версия от модеров всегда будет более интересной, чем все, что мы можем сделать.
For different types, like it would be more tame, anything we do, right? In terms of the mods and the integration options. Whereas now, I mean, you guys are getting all sorts of crazy shit. That's awesome.
Yeah, no, I think the one problem I have with it at the minute is that it doesn't, it's hard to scale for many reasons. Mainly because, it's also, you know, we have a problem at the minute where if a few of us are down, chat can keep spawning endlessly. We've only kind of recently found a stopgap to stop that from happening, which is just people just pausing the spawns who are mods or what have you.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, there are lots of interesting technical challenges for sure that have kind of appeared from this, and it's just it's like a completely different game almost.
Yeah.
What I find quite interesting about it. Cool. But yeah, no, it must have been a watershed moment in terms of going from do we really endorse mods to this degree? Oh yeah, okay, we do now, definitely.
I mean, like again, I don't think Ghost Ship Games in no way suffers from mods in our game.
ГСГ ни в коем случае ничего не теряет от модов.
It doesn't hurt the game. It doesn't hurt player experience that much. I know there's some cheating stuff going on and all that stuff, but
есть некоторые читеры, но
but that's fairly minor. And one of the things that we're hoping to do is to kind of like help at least
все хорошо.
Like when people, I mean, make mods that do all sorts of things, then it's like saying, yeah, I mean, you can do it and you can have fun, and now you can like I think that we're trying to implement like a thing where it actually like will like give you a new save, and of course people can get around our save system. I mean, we didn't try to make it in any way secure, but I mean, so it doesn't happen by accident, right? I mean, so you can go and you can play on modded stuff, and and then you can actually still have your vanilla save game and know that it exists and is safe and secure and whatever.
Рассказывают
really want to, yes, of course, you can then
о будущей версии, как будет подведена поддержка модов. Судя по тому, что я слышу, сейчас в разработке что-то вроде различных сейвов. Какие-то сейвы под игру с модами, какие-то под обычные.
I mean, in the ideal world, we would, right? Given infinite resources, infinite time, and whatever, yes, sure. But we don't have that, and we have to, like, I mean, again, we have to choose our battles. And that one actually, it's like, I mean, it's also like dedicated servers. Like, yes, that would be super cool. Why not? But we have to.
Вопрос в выделенных серверах. Ответ: если бы у нас было бесконечно много времени и денег, было бы неплохо, но, к сожалению, нас их нет.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, do we want to do this or do we want to focus on the game itself? And it's like, oh, let's focus on the game itself. So might happen later. I don't know, but right now, it's hard for us to make a decision to like dump an enormous amount of our time.
Yeah.
Into something, and so yeah. Woo. So shame.
Do you have a favorite mission type as well? Again, I know this is your favorite children again, but there are
It is.
Тип
I mean,
миссии.
I think for me. Oh, I'm sorry.
Defend.
I'm just not focusing at all. That's okay. Gives people something to do. Gotta revive. My favorite mission type actually is mining expedition.
Classic.
The old,
Шахтерская экспедиция.
and it's not. I mean, it's hard for me to say. Oh, this one, only this one. But certainly, if I had to be on a desert island where I could only play one mission type, it would.
Нельзя сказать, что это единственная миссия, которую он любит, однако, если бы у него был выбор играть только в одно, то он бы выбрал именно шахтерскую экспедицию.
And I think over like a massive amount of replays, it's probably the one that will give you the most variety actually. Because the main mission gets a Morkite, that's just another thing you're mining out of the wall. And then like the rest of the experiences is just stuff based around that, right? And then you can find stuff in the caves that you can do, like machine events or the crate or whatever. And you can get tough enemies. There's even a chance for dreadnoughts to spawn and all that stuff. And it's like,
I love that. I've literally based all my my viewer spawns off of what can spawn in like a swarm. So I've got a skittering horde button. I've got a red button and so on.
yeah.
But yeah, once you stack them,
Once you stack them, it's fantastic.
oh yeah.
There are good things about it. Sorry? Say again?
What'd you say, Miklos?
I killed the breeder.
You've killed the breeder, nice. Well, there's more stuff coming now.
Честно говоря, порой проскакивают комментарии по поводу миссии,
Sweet lord.
но я не нахожу их особо интересными.
Like this. Thank you for demonstrating. Chat. Oh. There we go. Ow. Oh. Oh. Race up there.
Yeah. But I still feel like, I mean, to continue answering your question, like now
Yeah.
I'm thinking a little bit about it.
That's fine.
I think, even though, like, the mission that I feel that I would want, that still needs the most, is maybe actually elimination still.
Возможно, больше
Like
всего
we've added
требуется,
more things to fight, but it's still in the end, right? It's just 3
больше
now
всего
instead of 1. which is
требуется
a lot,
каких-то
but
твиков, миссии с дредноутами. Все еще нуждается в дополнительном
to me,
контенте.
that's probably the mission that gets old the fastest.
Мне кажется, что она постареет быстрее всех.
I'm alive right now. Ooh. Nope. Nope. No.
Spitters on the roof.
There's a lot of spitters on my roof. So, historian, to answer your question,
Yeah.
Johan made Betsy. Johan is responsible. He did
Is that
this.
Is that a question?
It was sorry, it was DRG historian in the chat was asking who made Betsy, and I was answering with Johan confessed this to us a few weeks ago, and we all.
Yeah. Fran also Fran.
Oh, also
they worked on it together. They worked on it together.
Gotcha.
The fiendish bastards.
Ow.
Put junk seeds down here. What?
I mean,
he died.
but it's just the silliest way. It's just the absolutely silliest way. Just fine. It's fine. It's what I deserve.
What about the tip jar? Who came up with that?
I think that was Mikkel, or maybe Robert. I mean,
Кто сделал прижал?
So, I'm really
Микки
not
или Роберт?
into tipping systems. That's like a personal thing.
I mean, we are from
I think,
Europe.
А, нет, не
yeah,
Трижо.
but I mean, just like
Это
looking back to the
Tip
like,
jar.
when I lived in the US, I mean,
новая
something
зеленая
that it
штука у
actually like
Ллойда.
affects people's like pay, right? I mean, the people in the service industry, they actually get paid like
Yeah, according
super
to
low
stats.
wages because their like tips are expected or something, and it's just it's so terrible because then like somebody's like livelihood is up to my generosity. Like what? That's not why I go to a restaurant. Not to make that decision.
No, I completely agree with you. It's it comes from prohibition. So when the sale of alcohol was banned in the US, or at least in the US, when the sale of alcohol was banned in the US, servers were encouraged to make the difference because they got their pay cut. They were told to make the difference by being really friendly and all that kind of stuff. So that's where it all kind of comes from. And then when alcohol came back, it didn't leave. So.
Wow, I learned something today.
Yeah, that is how.
I learned a lot of things today actually during this stream, but I learned something.
Дополнение
non-DRG
обсуждения.
related today.
Yeah, no.
Дага
It's educational stream.
отмечает, что
It really is.
есть работники, ну типа официантов, у которых очень низкие зарплаты, и они живут за счет таких вот небольших добавок. И он находит это не особо.
Like we already have Carl.gg and the modding community and all that. Is there anything else that you want to see the community develop into?
Oh man.
Что ты хочешь увидеть в комьюнити?
Yeah, whatever you want to do, I think. I do not have a wish list. I do not. I mean, the thing is, like, I mean, first off, none of the stuff that happened was something that I thought I wanted or needed or anything. It just kind of happened, and I think that's part of the magic of it for me. It was just like, oh wow, like people like what we did this much.
Нет никаких пожеланий.
It's just a big warm fuzzy feeling, and it's great. I can't answer that.
Надеюсь, я
question right
проговорил
now. I'm
вопрос.
drawing a blank, I don't know.
Я извиняюсь. Я полностью
I
сконцентрирован
think now
на
that
словах.
further exploring the mods, I think it's a really cool place, potentially to go because
Что хотелось бы увидеть в комьюнити.
I can play a DRG that I did not make.
И Даг говорит, что в принципе все, что происходит в комьюнити, оно возникает спонтанно, и у него нет
already, of course, already with the mods that are there now, you get a bit more of that.
предпочтений,
But I mean,
каких-либо
to me,
желаний.
that's because I actually really like the game that we made. But again, I can't get the same type of, and I'm not sure if this actually would solve that. Maybe it's probably an unsolvable issue, reality, whatever. But yeah, I mean, it's very different for me to play DRG than it is to play any other game. And sometimes it like I kind of wish like that I could have found this game as a player.
That's like what kind of tragedy.
Don't weep for me. I mean, it's
I will.
Дага жалуется, что он не может чувствовать игру как обычный игрок,
I've
потому что он
cards on the
разработчик.
table. I would love to work for GSG if I ever could, but then at the same time I realized that I would essentially be giving up Deep Rock the way I play it currently. Because I would be playing it in a completely different way in order for testing and all that kind of stuff to kind of be done. So, yeah. kind of wild that you have this relationship with this epic game, and it's just sometimes not what you want, exactly what you want to do, because you've been doing it for 12 hours like already. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so the thing is also, of course, I think, I mean, it depends on who, but I mean, whoa, boom. I mean, the amount of time I have to like play games has decreased drastically since I've had a kid. So.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, so it's like kind of like, you know, like I'm doing DRG stuff at work, like whereas before I would be. Thanks.
How long ago was that?
3.5 years.
Oh, wow.
Literally the day I joined DRG,
Wow.
joined Ghost Ship Games. He was born, so like I came in for 1 day and then I'm
Wow.
off.
that paternity leave kicked in.
Yes.
Awesome.
So, wait, no.
So one of the influences I see a lot in this game is actually Halo. Are any of you guys like big? Are any of the core founders big Halo people? Is it all just coincidental?
No one is a big Halo person, but I really like the first Halo.
Yeah,
I mean,
Combat
to me,
Evolved is iconic. Yeah.
like you were talking about games.
Хувин
that to me
указывает
is
на
very
то, что в
important.
игре есть какие-то интересные особенности, что-то похожее на
Also,
Halo,
probably
на контент из игры Halo. Спрашивает, возможно, кто-то есть в штате, кто является фанатом. Нага отвечает, нет, таких нет, но ему нравится первый Halo.
Oh, nice. There's a bulk detonator in here. Awesome. Oh yeah.
While you're dead.
Yes. Yeah. While we're all dead.
All right. For once, not a weapon question. I know, shocking.
I am shocked.
All right. So I've started looking into the platform guns repellent. Could you talk a little bit about how that affects the AI pathing? Like, it seems like there's like a 2 to 4 second delay before it affects terrain, and then it seems to like double or triple the amount of cost it takes to walk around it.
Yeah.
Как работает платформа отпугивающая?
So it is just affecting the cost of navigating over it, walking over it. The delay is probably because
Есть какая-то
how long it takes
отсрочка?
for the like navigation. We don't have a nav mesh. We have like some kind of weird custom nav node. I have no idea how it works. Smarter people than me.
Есть небольшая задержка перед тем, как начинает работать платформа.
So that does take a while to generate, and that is constantly being modified whenever you dig and all that stuff. So that delay probably comes from that. Is all I can say. As for the exact cost difference, I am not sure. But yeah, it is more expensive, but not infinitely so, right? So if you make a circle around you or whatever, they will go across, and even if it just becomes, yeah. So it's just a cost thing. You are correct. And you're probably correct with the numbers as well. I mean, I remember when you sent me some numbers to check. I mean, most of your numbers were correct. It's crazy.
И внезапно задумался, что же еще жуки могут обходить.
What about the new Inferno dot?
Oh, just you were asking some numbers that I sent you that were correct. I think that was one of them.
I'm sure it was. I mean, by the way,
Вопрос
I think
каких-то
I have to
скрытых
go. My girlfriend's been
цифрах?
writing to me asking me if I'm okay because I said like, hey, it'll only be 2 hours.
No, yeah, you know what? It's been over that, so that's fair enough. we can wrap it up now then. That's not a problem.
Cool.
Mike, I gotta say, thank you so much for taking the time. I know you got a busy
И
schedule.
конец стрима.
So, rock and stone, dude.
Майк
Thank you so
обещал
much.
только 2 часа.
Thank you
Если
for
Буси мою
doing this.
угонит.
I mean, like I said, I mean, yeah, everyone's happy, everyone's thankful, but it's so crazy for me to like, yeah, for a game to have, for people to like our game so much and to actually enjoy it, and it's what we make the games for. So
It's a crazy thing. If you make a cool game, people will play it.
да, you think
Удивительно, если вы сделаете хорошую игру, люди будут в нее играть.
I still think we're at hidden gem status.
Саркастично комментирует Хуин.
The peak has not been hit yet. 100%.
Но это еще не пик.
But I mean, yeah, go play Kalimba. I think that one is actually one of the better games I've worked on as well.
Oh, the floppy disk. Yes, here's the floppy disk. Right
Floppy disk.
Just
Okay, let's do it.
right here.
Да, еще раз напоминаю, это Калимба.
Where? Where?
Underneath this light. Underneath this
I
light. It's the brown.
I don't know what you're talking about. What are you talking about?
Oh right.
There's
Okay.
nothing here.
Yeah. There's nothing there. They can't see it. This is just there's just like a 404 image.
But I mean, okay, so this thing that I'm looking at here that you think is a floppy disk, I mean,
the brown thing, right?
yeah. But what's the big deal about it?
We have to ask DLG
I don't get it.
I think he's seen it in every like iteration of the space rig, and he thinks that it's got something to do with everything, obviously.
It probably does.
Yeah.
I mean, the space rig is really the domain of Robert.
Oh yeah.
Роберт отвечает за Space Rig и флоппи диск, как утверждает история, был в каждой версии,
I mean, I think he would
в каждой
want to,
итерации.
but he's super busy.
No, that's fine.
So I don't know.
He's involved in a lot of other projects, so that's interesting. I thought he was
No,
one man
just
band.
this project. But he does a lot more than just do the space rig.
Oh yeah, no, I can imagine he's art director, so yeah, he would be busy as well, just that, for sure. Anyway.
So, I don't know. We'll see. I hope he puts in more of his Easter egg stuff and all that stuff. I really like those.
Absolutely. All right, Mike.
Cheers.
Thank you so much,
and
dude.
good night.
Yes, have a nice one, dude. Have a nice one. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Mike.
All right. I will hop off of Discord and close down the game then. Nice games though. Rudders and Meat Shield, and Gray. Thank you much for today for playing and coming by and carrying half the interview. SMH. Thank you very much. All right, I'm gonna hop out now. GG's Rudders. Oh, I just disbanded for no good reason. All right, let's see. Gonna be raiding. That was super informative, wasn't it? We learned so much. These guys do so much for this game. It's crazy.
Столько всего нового. Разработчики делают для этой игры достаточно много.
Alrighty. Nice interview. Oh my, it's crazy for you to say that. I feel like I always screw it up. Anyway. Whoa. I was repeating names because it was quite a tight-knit group that worked on this one. Yeah, I agree, Thulu. It's awesome that they do come on, and it shows that they do want to like reach out and hang out with their community. Like that's unheard of. Like I a random player, am now being like, so tell me about that. It's crazy. I'm loving it. Anyway, thank you so much for all the people who came on today.
Спасибо всем, кто пришел.
Raiding somebody. I think we're gonna raid. Look at that. Yeah. Alright. We're gonna get Mao. We're gonna do Mao. Yeah, no, Rock and Stone people. Thank you. I'm gonna do a quick rundown of all the follows today.
И сейчас он быстро пройдет по списку тех, кто подписался. Если честно, даже интересно, будет ли чего-нибудь еще.
0x45D, interesting name. Thank you very much for that follow, and Link Josh, thank you very much for that follow. I'm Who Even. I do KNN when I can. It's quite a lot to set up and coordinate. Obviously, getting a dev on wasn't super easy, and I've done it 3 times now. It's breaking my brain. Anywho, yeah, I don't think there'll be one next week, but there'll probably be one maybe the week after.
На следующей неделе не будет KNN, но он будет через неделю, возможно.
But yeah, you guys have been a wonderful audience. I'm sorry I didn't pay attention to you half the time. I love you all though, deeply. Yeah, no,
Практически не обращал внимания на чат
gonna be doing cubes day next week.
все это время, но тем не менее считаю, что он тоже сыграл важную роль.
But yeah, have yourselves a lovely one, yeah. We're gonna raid. Where is he? We're gonna raid Mao. There he is. I'm sure you appreciate that. But yeah, if you wanna hang out with our people, join the Discord. Yeah, praise the cube. Send Mao a big praise the cube. That would be pretty sweet. Or a rock and stone. You're cool. Do what you want. Praise the cube, rock and stone, whatever you want. Yeah. I'm gonna catch you kids later. Have a nice one. Frankenstein.
И это конец. Ну, то, пожалуй, я тоже завершу свой стрим. Спасибо тем, кто пришли. И всем хорошего дня.